When Frodo destroyed the 7th Horcrux of Sauron in the Battle of Stalingrad, I literally cried. Classic Tolkien masterpiece. Also, the scene where the two Nazguls beat it back on it. I'm crying. Oh, that was beautiful. The Shadow Rider, that gets a thumbs up. That was beautiful. I don't normally thumb up things like that. That's beautiful.
It's Mordor country, man.
Be on your guard. There are older and fouler things than orcs in the deep places of the world.
From the beginning, we knew she couldn't do this alone. Every good quest needs a fellowship.
But you have not seen what I have seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen what I have
seen. We don't change anything, but we interpret everything in this incredible, unique way. Everyone was cast because they were the absolute best person for the role.
Second Age is the great unfilmed story in Tolkien's entire legendarium, with the Forging of the Rings and the Last Alliance. And we felt that that was the story that deserved to be told.
There is a tempest in me. It swept me to this island for a reason.
They cast you out for deigning to beg them for a few petty soldiers. What will they do when you tell them that you are my ally? When you tell them that Sauron lives because of you!
Oh, always beard. Enough with the quail sauce. Give me the meat and give it to me raw. Looks like meat back on the menu, boys.
One does not simply walk into Mordor. Country.
We are so back. It's been a long time since we got to run that intro. Welcome to Mordor country.
Mordor country!
Mordor! Where it's our sole purpose to roast the Rings of Power. Oh. 3 episodes tonight, fellas.
Oh, God. 3 episodes tonight. And I have to be sober.
Yeah, well, only for another, 4 hours for you?
Something like that.
We're not going to go that long. I have come up with a plan. I was talking about it before. We're going to run these bitches at 1.5 speed to try and get through them just because. Anyway, welcome, everybody. We're glad you're joining across all the channels. Hail and howdy, everybody. We're happy to have you here on this Saturday night. As you can see, if you're a regular guest on mine and Jed's channel, normally we'd be doing Saturday night driving right now. We're not right now. We'd be done by now, but we're on break for the next month and a half because of this gloriously bad show, Rings of Power, Season 2. Jed, are you happy we're sacrificing our normal show for this? Audio, can't hear you. Muted.
There are so many technical difficulties today. I cannot tell you this. But I'm not happy to be doing this instead of driving. Driving is so much fun to do. But I am happy to be back on Mordor country because I've forgotten so much of that intro. So many of the little things from Season 1. That clip never gets old. This is Mordor country origin. So I think we're going to have fun tonight. But yeah. I can almost guarantee you that I will have to turn off my camera at some point the internet here is so bad that Dr. Rachel Lindbergh was supposed to join me here.
Yeah.
But the mere fact of her phone being connected to the internet to get the sound of the stream was bogging it down too much to use. So she will unfortunately be sticking to the chat for the most part. But we'll figure something out.
Well,
exactly. Next week we'll be back to normal.
We'll be happy to have her come on live next week. Will you stop singing One Piece, you demented idiot?
I'm not singing One Piece. I'm singing On the Road Again.
Oh, well, it sounded like you're humming the same as anything you were last night. All right, fine. Dermy, you just finished it. How are you doing?
I had to find ways to make this entertaining and not just boring and annoying. But I'm all on the train of make Numenor great again. Our Foulazon or whatever the fuck his name is, the correct answer. Dumb queen bitch is trying to hide the fact that she's blind.
No, she's actually out. She actually admitted it. Everybody knows at that point. They say as much at the end of it.
I'm pretty sure she's still trying to hide the fact that she's blind by.
No, so everyone knows, but she's still trying to hide it, though.
Yeah, and they said blind. They said infirm queen or something like that. Some firm. It's she tried to hide it, but everybody freaking knows.
Yeah, and
it's not hard to tell.
Yeah,
and also the dwarfs get hard for each other.
Ooh, yeah, we're gonna. There is so much sexual subcontext in this show.
The lawsuit, take shit everywhere. People want to get pegged. It's all
magical rings of Viagra.
Pretty much.
Doxer, welcome back. We haven't seen you in a while on the stream. You've been in the chat. You're in the chat all the time. Welcome back. Happy you could join us this week. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well. I want to see in the chat. I want people to type 3 if they've seen all 3 episodes, or if they're just counting on us to watch it for them.
Oh, it's a mix. Some people purely tune in to basically watch it through all of us. That's how it works. I mean, and we are technically going to watch it tonight. We are technically going to watch tonight. All right, so welcome to the chat. Hail and howdy across all our chats. We are, as I said, we are happy to have you guys here on this Saturday evening, which is sort of a holiday weekend. We're coming up on Labor Day, and so we want you guys to interact. You guys are part of the show. We'll talk to you as much as we can. If you guys have something to say, we'll bring it up. So you're here. You're as much part of the show as you are, but for the most part, it is a panel show, a lot of discussion. So most of the time, if we miss what you're saying, know that we are seeing it, and we will get you if you have questions, this and that, either way.
I see mostly zeros in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to let the chat know that, some of the visual effects are actually better. Like, you can kind of see where they spent the money this season.
A little bit. They did. Hey, there's still moob armor.
Yeah.
They still got moob armor.
The costume design is still crap. The dialogue is still atrocious. Morford Clark still has the acting range of a pet rock. It's all good. It's
none of them. Well, all right.
Consistent.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Almost everybody has to do things like this the entire.
Yeah, pause. Only 2 people can act. The dude who's playing Gandalf, not Gandalf, he has ability. The few minutes he's in the show, he's fine. And the new Adar, he's okay.
Yeah,
he's not terrible. He actually has some emotion. Everybody else is dog shit. Complete dog shit. Anyway, all right. So again, let's get started. Here's how we do it here. For people who have since subscribed to my channel or Jet's channel or Dermy's channel since we did this last season. Last season was only on this channel. Now we are simulcasting to appeal to a wider audience. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it up. Here it is right here. You can see it's the overlay of Mordor Country, but in EFAP style. The show is going to be underneath it. This is what we do to avoid the bots, so I don't get a copyright claim and we can keep this monetized and going. This worked last season when we tried it from episode 2 and on of the show, not the series. So it works. We're going to go through it. I've got it set to 1.5 times speed so that we will go through this as quickly and, well, there'll be pain. There's going to be
pain.
There's pain.
Why only 1.5? I feel like we can manage 2.
You want to try 2? You want to try 2? Okay.
We could do this.
Especially since you're saying we're not doing the audio. I think we can do 2.
All right. Video. Where did it go?
You're welcome, chat. I just saved us half an hour.
Probably
yes. Really saved us a lot of time.
Where the hell did it? Oh, playback. Not under video playback. Here we go. All right. So all right. 2 times speed it is. All right. So let me lower. I didn't lower this one out. Let me do that. There we go. Okay. All right. Here we go. I've already cut out the recap from last season because we don't need that. And here we go.
I almost fell asleep watching it. That's how bad it was.
So you can see here comes the crown.
Oh fuck!
It's the crown.
This is the dumbest scene I've ever. Everything about this made no sense.
Well, the entire flashback arc at the beginning of the first episode was a waste of time. I didn't think this was possible, but it actively damaged season 1.
Mm-hmm.
It actively made Sauron worse.
Because
when they
that-
show
that's a
when
new
they show Sauron just sitting there in a sea of orcs, I'm thinking of this Sesame Street song. One of these things is not like the other.
Well, this is supposed to be the scene where we feel sympathetic for him. We're
Yeah,
supposed to care about him.
I don't
Let's
care.
get to it. Let's get to it. So the guy's giving the speech. New Sauron. Now, when they cast this guy over the interim, I thought, oh, okay, dude who played Halbrand, he's out, and this guy's gonna be a new one. No, this dude's in it for only this part. He's only in it for this part. And I think next time I'm gonna phase it a little bit better because I can barely see it. But I'll try it next time. Anyway, go ahead.
I do have to ask. I don't remember season 1 super well, thank God. But
Yeah.
is this the ice castle from
Yes.
the
Yes.
beginning of season 1? Okay.
Yes. And
So that makes that make even less sense. So who killed Galadriel's brother? Because Sauron's been MIA for 1,000 years. Luckily, waking up just as Adar's making Mordor.
yeah, I know that. We'll get to it's gonna. We can talk about that in a second when we get to that.
Holy
when we
shit,
get to
I
symbiote
completely
Sauron.
forgot about that.
Yes. Once again, the show, and I talked about it. Really was apparent in episode 3 how they have no concept of letting you know time passes in this show.
Mm-mm.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So he's giving his speech here. I'm gonna make Mordor. I'm gonna make you great again. We're not in Mordor yet. I can't make Mordor great again, but I'm gonna make you great again because I love you and nobody else loves you. You're horrible. You're evil,
Everybody
you're
else
terrible.
hates you.
Yes.
You're awful people. Everybody
Yeah.
hates you. Nobody will ever accept you. Please side with me. But pleading with them instead of using like his powers.
Okay, so Finrod died in the first stage. Okay, he died in the first stage.
That's in real lore, though. I think. I don't know if that's the case here.
Well,
Because they've confused the ages.
I know this here right here is the begin. This is literally the beginning of the second age right here in this
Mhm.
show. It's the beginning, and he's like, "Oh, I love all of you," and the orcs actually go, "We hate you. You suck." So what happens? Oh god, no, we go. Sorry. And what happens? As he's trying to do that, here comes this orc. He's gonna, try and gank him, and. Well, he's giving, and now this is what Jeremy was talking about. As he tries to gank him, he just goes off. On I'm gonna skip ahead. There we go. I think he's
Just
come on,
repeatedly
It's
stabs
very
him in
fast.
the
What
eye.
the fuck?
that's just the video when I skip ahead when this kind of thing. It fixed up. We can't quite see it because I need to redo the transparency. But there it is. He is stabbing the shit out of that orc.
Yeah.
Poor orc. The
Jeremy-
orc did nothing wrong.
What is Sauron's power level? They're so inconsistent. Like one moment he's warping reality for Celebrimbor, making this whole vision sequence. The next he's like, stabby, make 100 times. I feel like this was a Julius Caesar scene, though. That's what I thought they were
it
going.
totally is.
Yeah.
As we get to the point here where they all gank him, it is totally ripping off the Ides of March. It totally is. And he's like, "Oh, see, everything okay? I still love you. You're the only ones who can do that." And
He's having his incel rant.
like Jen said, though, as we get to it, they don't have any idea what his power level is. I mean, listen, he's essentially a lower level demigod. He's a demigod, lower level god, whatever. I mean, he's not. And when he's on here, because
he's a fallen angel.
Well, he's a fallen angel who at this point, according to the lore, the real lore, he repented when heaven said, "Okay, Morgoth lost. You now have to come back and make and earn forgiveness." But he didn't really do it, and then he ran away and he came back to Middle Earth. But unlike Gandalf and the other wizards who were sent to Middle Earth to help mankind, but set with limiters, Sauron doesn't have any limiters on. He has no cap. He could do whatever he wants with his full powers. And most of the time he doesn't because he knows he can achieve more by deceiving. But right here, as Adar ganks him with the crown
in the dumbest way possible. I hate this.
It's so awful.
And then they all Julius Caesar him, Ides of March him. He fights back a little bit, but I'm sorry. I'm just not convinced Sauron goes down like this. Are you?
He doesn't.
No. There's no possible way.
I mean, they showed him punching orcs into the air like yards and yards away. Like I don't.
A second ago, and all I got to do is think back to the War of the Last Alliance, the last battle that they show in Peter Jackson's trilogy when he goes full armored form. He is yes, he's got the mason, he's got the one ring on at that point, but look, he is taking out.
He's wrecking an army single-handedly.
Yeah, and in his fair form, just because he's in his fair form doesn't mean he's any less powerful. So they just wanted to have a gory scene here, have him covered in blood, and want you to feel sympathy for him.
And then also you need to have an origin story for the ice castle.
Yeah. Except the fact that maybe it's in the north and it's cold.
That was the interpretation I got from season 1, is it was just in the north because she's the commander of the Northern Army. So it's like, she just went north.
And now he's gonna have his spiritual orgasm and turn everything cold.
And so when I saw that, I think, okay, so everyone in the tower is frozen dead now.
That would be what makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, everyone just, walks it off.
Walks it off. Yeah, everybody's fine. Everybody gets up, and Adar continues to go make orcs, I guess, because he's the father of the orcs.
For 1,000 years, but makes no progress until right when Sauron wakes up.
Yeah, I know.
So what I will say is that third episode, we're not there yet. They established that orcs can have babies.
We are going to get there. We have an actual
hilarious.
I have an actual commentary discussion I want to have on that because I've been watching the stands today. Talk about that because now I'm actually looking at shit. So here we go. Here comes the black blood of Sauron.
Ivan ooze.
Now it's gonna drip down and pool.
It's venom.
It's a symbiote. You're exactly right. So Sauron's a symbiote?
Before we get to the symbiote part, I need to ask more questions about season 1. What was the big clue that Galadriel got in this castle in season 1? I don't think that clue makes sense now.
The map. I get. Well, it didn't make sense in season 1 either.
It didn't make sense then. Yeah, it's like the map was left there for orcs trying to find Mordor or the Southlands, but she thought it was given by Sauron. So is that
really Adar that left it? It was really Adar that left it.
So Adar's been the real villain. Adar's been doing all the stuff for 1,000 years that Galadriel's attributed to Sauron.
So then did Adar kill her brother?
No, her brother died in the first war. That's when he died.
But his brother had the symbol carved into his shoulder or something weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had this.
Damn,
she attributed the death to Sauron.
Oh
my god.
So he left a map to Mordor before Mordor was a thing on his shoulder. Apparently.
Why would you put a map on your?
We talked about that last season. It was retarded. It's stupid.
Everything about the show's retarded and stupid.
Oh, Legatus just made it worse. He said it's the black goo from the engineers from Prometheus and Covenant. That is like it makes the show worse for me.
It does. So he's gonna eat a rat. He's gonna eat the rat here. And
eating the rats of the
rats
creatures to form his
rats
body.
and bugs gives him sustenance.
So, according to chat, the stalagmites are taller or something to show the passage of time, but
bullshit.
Basically, it just fades to black, and you have no idea how much time has passed.
Yeah, it's just if that's what I'm supposed to gather from all that information, that doesn't help.
Yeah,
and that's still nothing specific.
Yeah, and it also goes against like the actual timeline that they established in season 1.
Oh, this contradicts season 1 all the time.
Oh, well, yeah. And he's gonna crawl out, and I guess it's gonna be hundreds of years as he crawls across Middle Earth.
Must be. I have to tell you, when he slid out of the cave and dropped off the rock right there, Rachel Bolsheim's yelled "wee." Just imagining Sauron sliding down the snow. Whee!
Now he's gonna eat this poor lady. He's gonna eat this poor lady.
Poor lady.
Why did he eat the horse at this point?
He should have just ate the horse.
And now he's Halbrand now. He's Halbrand. I mean, wasn't the point that Sauron can shapeshift into anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he got ganked, so he has to be ooze monster.
And he only has a partial beard. Like he shaved and stuff before they took the shot.
Why did this change his form? But when he
I don't
consciously
know.
did it later, it didn't really change much.
I guess he. Oh, that's a good.
I guess he
just
needed
had
meat.
the original.
I guess he
I
needed
appreciate
meat. I
He's
guess.
not
I
wrong.
don't, is it kind of and Adam? Is it kind of like in let's say Full Metal Alchemist, where you need to have like the proper new items and stuff brought together to make a body?
You mean equivalent exchange?
Yeah. Is that what he needs? He needs enough meat
No,
to make his body.
I don't think they're even that smart.
Yeah.
All right, now
they didn't think
suddenly.
through it.
All right, now this is literally season 1. This is taking place early in season 1, off camera. He's in the Southlands where Mordor is going to be, and he runs into the people of the actual kingdom. And now they give us the backstory for the pouch of the insignia, because
He just accidentally finds it. That makes everything from season 1 worse. Because Sauron's plan is stupid. His character in season 1 is stupid. But we could at least assume, all right, he's trying to manipulate Galadriel. He found this or made this, and he put himself on the boat to intercept her.
He killed a king.
No, he didn't
He's
kill
been
a king.
hiding.
That's a servant. That's a servant. That's not even a king.
Servant of the king.
A servant. So it's complete. I mean, Jed, I know you love coincidence. It's coincidence.
There's
that
about
he finds
20
the
of them
pouch.
in the flashbacks. The flashbacks make Sauron's plan non-existent from season 1, and it hurts season 1.
And literally now, this is the moment in season 1 while he's on the ship heading. I guess they're trying to get to Valinor. So is Galadriel. She's out.
I don't know
there
where
too.
they're heading for. Aren't they heading for Numenor?
I thought they were going to Numenor myself.
Yeah, the humans are going to Numenor. But it's still very lucky.
He just said an island across the
here.
sea. He didn't really specify.
Yeah. So now it's a discussion of, well, I know you did bad things, but you could be good again.
Yeah.
All this
just start spouting truisms or whatever.
Well, this is the first example that all 3 episodes have shown so far. Empty, profound dialogue.
Yes.
It's really bad.
Empty platitudes. That's all they know how to write. But they think it makes them sound smarter or more, I don't know.
Yeah. And it's like, but this whole thing right here, and we've done it in a few minutes. I mean, yes, we can handle the 2 times speed. Good decision.
Yeah, because now they're getting attacked.
Yeah,
by
it's
that
going
sea
by
monster.
good.
This happened in 20 minutes. This was 20 minutes of the first episode. The origin of Sauron Halbrand.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And it really, like Jed said, it makes season 1 worse. And we're supposed to feel sympathetic for him. That's what they want. They want us to feel sympathetic for Sauron. Oh, he got betrayed by Adar. He got murdered by orcs. He just is trying to create a world where people could all understand each other and live on the same wavelength like communism. All right? It's fine. It's dandy. And he got killed for it. Don't you understand? He just wants to help people by dominating their minds and their futures. It's okay.
Until he meets freaking Galadriel, in which he must get pegged.
Oh, listen, everybody's getting it's gonna happen.
How he survives the monsters fucking
well,
retarded.
he looks at it. This is to your point earlier. What's his power level? Right here, he uses his actual abilities to basically say, here's my aura.
Adam, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Jeremy's right. It's a coincidence. He's looking at it, yes, but he doesn't use his power on it.
You see, I was understanding
something gets
that
in the way.
It was influence.
He gets
you were rooting into
by like a
what
rope
made
or
sense.
something.
Okay,
a rope or something gets snagged around him
to grab the sea monster.
I thought it was a
Like
bold
that or
move to
something.
put Aquaman's origin story at the beginning of the movie because I didn't see how it related to the rest of the story. But
it doesn't.
So
I thought it was an Aquaman thing where he knows the secret language of sea monsters or something.
Yeah, I thought he just like, basically Sauron. I'm Sauron. Don't fuck
he's
with
just
me.
staring at it, waiting to die.
All
it
right.
makes more sense, Adam. That's what
All
they
right.
should have done is just Sauron magic, but
because he
just
uses
accidentally
abilities.
survived.
At the end of episode 2, he's going to make it rain. He's going to make it rain at the end of episode 2, and he makes friends with the doggo in this episode. So now he's climbing up and he's going to be on. And here's the raft, and in 2 seconds, here comes Galadriel swimming all the way back to Middle Earth from Valinor for the 2,000-mile swim. Remember that?
I've never seen something
God.
more beautiful. And then he says something like super profound, but it's so soulless and empty.
Well, it was the line that told us all right away this dude's Sauron. Like there was no mystery from the moment he did it. No mystery. All right, so now we're back.
Oh God,
present day. And here, listen, you think they learn not to put her on a horse? Well, then again, she's barely on it, and it's. But here, I want to bring this up right here. So this is, I guess, immediately after the end where they make the ring. So at some point, Guy Ladriel, the bestest Evar, was bested by Femrond, who took the rings and ran away. So now they're having a quick trip to Linden, and she's chasing him.
That's an important thing I want to bring up. So these people don't know what the definition of the word herald is. They keep calling him Herald Elrond, but later on he is able to outrank Galadriel with the soldiers. Coming up in a minute here, he's able to outrace her on horseback, able to fight out and steal the rings from her. She's a high-level politician. That's not what a herald is.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is this, though, and I mentioned this during my reviews, is that somebody decided to try and actually have Femrond maybe be actual Elrond, who was a soldier and a commander, the actual soldier and commander in the Second Age. And he actually behaves more like he should, instead of I'm Femrond, and I'm going to go visit my boyfriend in Khazad Dûn.
I view it more as he's having a femboy temper tantrum because Galadriel wants to get that Sauron cock and doesn't want to peg him.
Oh, yeah. I see that making sense. I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I think Femrond was the best part of these 3 episodes. Still terrible, but he was more consistent than anybody else.
That's because he's behaving like his actual character a little bit, is the thing.
So when I saw this, I thought maybe it was a dream sequence for Galadriel where she's chasing Elrond and can't catch him, but no, this is the actual story.
No, we get the dream later. The dream happens next episode.
Then she loses him, and then through a quirk of editing, he's already ahead of her by at least 10 minutes or something.
He's already
he had a full conversation. Yeah.
He has already made his case to Gil-galad on why there's a problem. And basically now it's, we need the rings. And here's, once again, we bring this up. This is the first major, not counting what goes on with Sauron in his prologue. This is the first real super lore break, I think, where in actual lore, Galadriel, not Guy Ladriel, but Guy Ladriel, she is against the rings, making of the rings and all of it. She's against it. So is what's his name? I keep pronouncing his name. The shipwright. God, what's his freaking name?
The shipbuilder.
I want to pronounce it right. It's the hard K sound, but
I have no idea what his name is.
Kieran.
I can't remember it. I just lost it. We're not the hardcore guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Joxer's about as close as we get to a lore guy this week.
Círdan.
But next week, we have Horny Alf joining us, and he is a hardcore lore guy. So we're going to have our hardcore lore guy next week going forward, guys. So don't worry. We will have someone to catch us when we fall.
With Círdan, don't you love bearded elves that have to shave with rocks and modern shaving cream?
He does have a beard. He eventually, at the beginning of the 4th Age, he has a beard. I did my research. Círdan does grow a beard, but he has it right when he's leaving Middle Earth at the end after the War of the Ring. So yeah. So for now, though, he had a beard. Now,
isn't it that the elves put on all their rings and stuff, feel Sauron's presence, take them off, remove
not
his
with the elven rings. The elven rings are a little bit different. Galadriel's technically right. They were the last rings made, as far as I remember, and they were made separate from Sauron, so they were safe to use.
They were supposed to be that, and that's the whole thing. They got that part right, but everything's out of order.
Yeah, they did them first in this case versus last.
I believe I don't remember if the dwarven rings or the human rings were made first. I don't remember.
I think it was dwarven.
I think the dwarven were first.
Dwarven rings first, then the rings for the 9 Kings of Men. Then while Sauron was making the One Ring in secret, Celebrimbor, having been pissed off at being used, made the elven rings in secret on his own, not connected. And they weren't wearing them when Sauron puts on the One Ring and dominates the other rings made for dwarves and men. And
Yeah,
then they
my
put them
understanding is that remember in the battle of the Last Alliance in the movie where they they basically disperse Sauron. My understanding was the elves don't dare put the rings on until after they think Sauron has been vanquished.
essentially. I mean, they want to be sure, but so the elven rings. That's actually a good screenshot of her.
Yeah,
Damn, look at
it looks like she's ready to be receiving.
See, somewhere
she's looking at the horse.
It's actual emotion rather than her resting bitch face all the time. And yeah, Rachel's right. Rachel's right. Last season, she was the ultimate warrior. She was perfection incarnate. She was this clip. I'm gonna play this clip. I still have it here. This was her last season.
Ken.
Who is that? Commander of the Northern Armies. Galadriel.
Yeah, remember that was her last season. Superwoman.
They were all fawning over her.
They were thirsty for her. Everybody, even Black Legolas was thirsty for her.
Dom Legolas.
And I went. I don't want to borrow that one. That's not my nickname. Even Theo, when he still had his badass teenage mustache, he was thirsty for her. And now she's easily beaten by Femrond, who showed zero combat ability last season. And now I got to give one thing. They keep putting her in her place this entire first two episodes.
They do. I think that's why I like Elrond more than anybody else. I like is a stretch, but because he keeps ignoring her, contradicting her. Just anyone who doesn't go along with Galadriel is slightly better in my book.
Yes.
Well, what they did is they put everything that everybody else should have been in the actual lore of not trusting the rings. Círdan didn't trust it. Galadriel didn't trust it. Nobody trusted it. It's all been put into Elrond this season about it. So that's the thing.
It is legitimate though to be worried,
but they should be. No, but here is Galadriel. Sorry, Galadriel, warrior princess. She's all over this. She is. She needs these.
Isn't this the scene where she literally says her whole argument is, "I feel in my heart that Sauron failed to corrupt the rings." Like that's her entire argument.
He wasn't there. He didn't touch it, which is the truth. But it's because everything's done out of order, and that he wasn't even supposed to be involved in even the creation of the Elven Rings. It's all. It's a mess. It's just a narrative.
She trusts her own fifis. That's why.
This is also the scene where she admits that Sauron helped.
Right.
Yeah. They have to ask her. This is the one where she goes, "Who was it?" It was Sauron. Now, all right. All right. Now, here's the thing. I had a lame-o criticize me for emphasizing that. No. They emphasize it. We're making fun of it, and we have every right to make it because. Especially in a scene where you have Morfydd Clark roll every goddamn R in every word she says, and then the dude playing Femron just says Sauron. It's the whole emphasis on every R, whether it's Sauron or Mordor. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
Even in Anatar later, they pronounce Anatar weird.
Anatar.
My question, Anatar. But for this scene, my question is, when we saw the Mithril in season 1 next to the leaf, the near proximity of Mithril was enough to make an effect on the leaves. The 3 rings being here, they might not heal the tree entirely until they're put on. But you'd be able to tell a difference.
It's a lead line pouch, Jed. It's lead line.
It's a lead line pouch. It's a Faraday cage.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So here it was. So Gil-galad has been swayed by Galadriel to, let's put on the rings because everything's dying. So Femron just takes a flying leap off the cliff.
He takes the rings, ignores everybody, and then jumps off the cliff.
Yeah, he just jumps. Like, yay!
Galadriel from season 1 would have jumped after him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That is base Elrond. That is base. Like, F it, I'm jumping. I'll take it. Very, very little bit, but we'll take it. And now we're in Mordor. With once again. For those who don't remember, Mount Doom was created when they took a sword and used it as a key to unlock a dam that somehow sent water uphill into magma, because remember, magma is lava that's underneath the surface, into the magma chambers of the mountain, and it caused an eruption. Steam caused an eruption where they had plenty of open earth for the steam to escape. Okay, and then it caused a pyroclastic blast that somehow people survived, even though Guy Ladriel took it right in the face.
Yes.
And we're supposed to believe that was Adar's master plan. That's why they were digging the trenches and the tunnels in the first place.
With the elves oblivious to it for 100 years. Yes. We didn't see these trenches at all. We didn't see it. Fine. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How did Adar set that up on itself?
Oh, hang on. Rachel brings up a great point for the last scene, and I agree. I did see this too. It would basically throw them away. No, and then he just jumps. No, I won't throw them away. And it said Elrond. It shows us Elrond always distrusted rings and told people to throw them away.
Well, he hated the rings because they weren't going to be used as cock rings on him.
Well, they are essentially, like I said earlier, they are magical Viagra because the elves can get boners again.
I don't get how they're doing Sauron here. Last season he goes to Mordor. He already showed off like his Sauron powers, and now he's just captured.
Well, he turned himself in. He turned himself in, Dermy. They said he turned himself in, and now he wants to play the deceiver role.
But why? He
So,
accomplishes nothing.
I know. No. He makes friends with a doggo, a warg doggo who eats the old man that opened the dam. That's what he accomplished.
The whole point of the sequence is so that Adar can be worried that Sauron might return, apparently.
And so we could see Adar putting brands on people too. We're supposed to see that.
The first person comes up, they go like, "Pledge your alliance to Adar." He waits like 5 seconds, and then they just stab him. They're like, "If you don't pledge your alliance, we're gonna kill you." He didn't have time to pledge his alliance.
You mean allegiance?
Whatever.
We'll let that go. This because Gal's not here, I'm not gonna let it go. Anyway, it's this whole thing. This is their pathetic attempt to represent him as Sauron the Deceiver, is what they're doing. It's lame, it's pathetic. And also to introduce us to the orc that wants peace. It's right there. That was the orc that just wants to live peace.
They don't want to go to war again. They just want to live peaceful lives.
Put a pin in that one. We got to wait till we get there. We'll get there. We're moving a good clip here. What are we only? We're only 38 minutes in. We're doing really well. We're almost halfway through this god awful episode. So he's basically has to talk his way that I know where Sauron is, and if you kill me, you'll never get the answer. So they're going to throw him in there, and he's going to make and he's not supposed to be beaten. Okay. I mean,
that guy's now scared that Sauron might still exist.
Yeah,
Sauron's still alive.
Yeah, I here's my problem. I don't know who we're trying to feel sympathy for, Adar or Sauron.
Both.
I
think the orcs.
Okay. Okay. Here come the stupids. Okay, here's who I call the stupid stooges. Here's Gandalf, not Gandalf, having a vision of the constellation and the shepherd's crook that turns into a staff, and basically signifying once you get your staff, you'll learn to do it. And then he's going to make up. Now, I made a comment, and someone tried to own me with my comment, and I'm going to pose it to you guys because I think I'm right. If you see where the constellation is in the sky, right, and then you're not on the water, you're on dry land, at night, you could kind of know the direction the stars are. There's a thing called the North Star. I know it's not here, but stars are kind of stationary.
Yeah, they're pretty consistent.
Can't you just follow the constellation?
So
go the right direction?
Constellations rise and set kind of like the sun and the moon, but they don't travel in an arc like the sun. They spin around the North Star. But you can use constellations as direction markers.
And you need a sextant to do it. I know that.
So when the constellation rises up above the horizon, you know at what point it's at, and then you say, well, we need to travel that direction. You can use it like a compass point.
Yeah.
But I cannot express in words how stupid it is to search for a constellation. Like, It's always there. You just have to look up.
Yeah. So I made my point. So after a certain point here, where let's get this part. I'll make my point when we come back to. So they're walking through the desert. Go ahead.
Can I say that little vision he saw every time he grabbed the staff? That's everything that happens in episode 2.
Almost.
I went scene by scene through it. It's all episode 2.
Okay. So
there's Death Eaters.
Death Eater. Well,
Mad
they
Max
bring
Death
it
Eaters.
for a reason. They're suffering from a wasting disease. Apparently, they're from a wasting disease.
Oh, I didn't know that. And
they said that in episode 2. They said in episode 2. All right. So
they're Mad Max, Conan, Death Eaters.
Yeah. So right now they're complaining. They're hungry. They have no food. She wants them to use magic, and we go through the whole thing where he can't control. And here's forced humor of "You're too close to me when I do the magic. I need you to step back."
On the vagina tree.
I never saw that. Thanks, Jeremy.
He has to blow up the vagina tree.
Well, maybe it's more of a penis tree, the way it blows up and one comes out of it. I don't know. Because now here, I thought they were going to make it bloom apples or fruit or something like that. But instead of actual food, at least for us, he blows it up, and let's just wait for it here. Let's see it happen.
This is gonna be worse at 2 times speed.
It's gonna be creepy at 2 times speed. Massively.
It's gonna
creepy.
be.
That's right. Stroke it, big man.
Stroke that wood.
Stroke that baby.
There's the clitoris.
Here comes explosion, and here comes.
Only weirdos, Ariel. Only weirdos.
Yeah.
We can eat for weeks.
We can eat for days. Here come the bugs. Bugs. Hey, everybody. Just eat bugs. Listen, that's the messaging I got. It's okay to eat bugs.
Especially cock bugs.
Yeah, cock bugs. She has these things in her hair. If you don't notice it, they're like olives or nuts. Just
nuts.
If you're that hungry.
I mean, they're not olives. They're nuts. They're acorns.
Whatever. She has stuff in her hair she could eat.
Bugs, dude. Bugs. This is disgusting.
And I get it, Ariel. I get it. Some people in the world do eat bugs. They're broken inside.
So she's cooking the bugs in the next scene, and they're gonna
cook them.
They cook them, and it goes. I feel them. I feel the legs down my throat. They're dancing. That means they're dancing. Failed humor. Horrible dog failed humor. But they're going to get into this conversation about home and where it is and how you miss it and you know it when you see it. More fake profound dialogue.
Oh, and he still hasn't got his memory back. He thinks he has glimpses of where home might have been, but he doesn't actually know where his home is. Yeah, so why is he traveling in the desert? Why is he trying to get there?
He's not looking for home. He doesn't know what he's looking for. The constellations.
That's my point. It's like, okay, so in the first season, they put Sauron's identity in a mystery box, as they tried to, and they tried to mislead the audience that maybe the stranger was Sauron, but then he's obviously Gandalf at the end. He was always
Gandalf,
obviously Gandalf.
Hey, listen, he's Gandalf, not Gandalf, but he might be Saruman. He might be Saruman. It might be. I'm not gonna put that out of realm of possibility.
But they also put the guy's character motivations in the mystery box because he just wanders around like an escaped mental patient for the entire first season.
Yeah.
And he's still doing it now. It's like, why is he? What is he trying to achieve? Like, he wants to get what training? He wants to figure out how to control his powers.
Yeah, he just needs control. And remember, we know this from the trailers. It's Tom Bombadil that's going to train him.
But they don't even stop and ask for directions. They don't stop and ask for are there any wizards locally around we can go visit? Like,
no, there are no wizards. There aren't supposed to be wizards.
Yeah,
which is why the dark wizard that's in Rune, I don't think that even exists. I just don't think that it exists in lore. So they know somebody's watching because they spotted the fire. And now, like we were, and when we come back to them, we'll get that part. But now, where I can't, I guess we're back in Mordor here. Okay, Sauron is now going to make friends with the doggo after he gets beat up a little bit more.
We're gonna make a friend with the warg.
Yeah. That they just keep trying to tell him what he knows. We're gonna beat you more, this and that, and he makes friends with the doggo. And I can skip past this real quick. Let's just get by it. It's pointless.
Because they beat him, and then he uses the bone to communicate with the doggo.
Yeah.
Why don't you do this in other areas? If you could control the doggo, why don't you control the orcs? Then you wouldn't
because
be
he needs to be the deceiver, Dermy.
But if he could just look, if he could look at the doggos, speak a bunch of magic words, and then the doggos just listen to him and do what he says, why didn't you just do that when you were getting, crowned? Just
so I typed in the Google search, can Sauron speak to animals, and it led me to an article where they tried to justify that in the lore, Sauron could control beasts that had been made by a Morgoth or something, and so it's totally lore compliant. But it's like, no, you can't actually make that assertion based on the information you're given in the show.
Yeah,
like the show doesn't tell you, who created the sea monster or where wargs come from. So it's just it's Beastmaster powers. That's all it is.
Yeah, you're right. There's something to be said for actually giving proper exposition, not just figure it out for yourself. All right, so now we're back in the Great Havens, and
well,
here comes.
I mean, at that point, I was thinking, well, so is Sauron a druid now? Is that what they're going with? I don't know. Like you said, his power set is completely baffling and stupid.
Because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. Sauron is in this show to be a thirst trap.
Yes,
that's why he exists in this show. All right, so here's Círdan, our first introduction to him, bearded when he shouldn't be bearded. And they get it right. He is the oldest of the elves. He is the wisest.
He looks better bearded, though. I'll say that.
He looked actually they made him look younger when he shaved his beard off. He did de-age him a little bit when he did that. But I feel like this is a miscast. It just is. It just is.
Well, it's all about perfection that only exists in Valinor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, he's talking about perfection, this and that, because it must. They bring that up. Good point, Dermy. They bring that up so that you can understand that when he looks upon the Elven rings for the first time, it's perfection, and that's why I accept them, because they're perfection. So, okay, now he's gonna have a talk with Elrond. And Elrond's going to make his case.
Elrond was hiding, by the way.
Yeah, and he knew he was there the whole time. Until he never was gone. And it's like, listen to me. I'm going to explain to you. And we're going to get this whole conversation about these are the rings. They made them. Sauron had a part in it. And, Círdan is willing to listen to what this is still Femron. I'm calling Femron.
Yeah, Femron.
What Femron has to say. And meanwhile, though, they're all trying to figure out where he is. And now this is important. This comes back. They're sending a message to Eregion, which is not going to make it because those messages will be killed next episode. This is basically, do you trust me?
Trust me, bruh?
You trust me.
It's also trying to cover for how stupid Celebrimbor is. It's like, he just wasn't informed that Halbrand was Sauron, and that's why he was duped. It's like, no.
He also has a massive.
It's another example of Galadriel being the real villain.
Yes.
Yes, she is the villain.
Everything here is Galadriel's fault. Everything.
Like, she asks him why she's not in prison. He says, well, you're willing to make it right, or you're willing to correct your mistakes, so that's why I'm keeping you around. It's like,
no, just throw her in prison, off with her head. She's a fucking cunt. Get it over with.
And
that would have been a smart move, yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing in this makes sense. I think you guys said it earlier. Their character motivations do not make sense.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
They shift as the plot needs them to shift in order for the plot to continue rolling forward.
Yeah.
And now she's going to have the bright idea where he is. Guy Ladriel figures out where Femrond is, that he went to the most wisest of them all.
And she says she's going to some place that could turn the tides.
Yeah. Yes. Here's the thing. Gil-galad's a chump. Am I the only one that thinks that?
Well, he's horny.
Well, no.
I was thinking of Celebrimbor.
No.
Gil-galad. He's a chump. He's a leader that doesn't know how to lead and constantly gets manipulated and gets angry when nobody listens to him.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. He doesn't do anything. He does what
Except
others tell
bitch.
him to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other people tell him to do stuff. So they're gonna decide, oh, like you said, he's where the tides are. The wise someone could even influence you. Now we get the conversation where he's going to convince him that these rings are bad and made by Sauron. And we get Círdan is another major example of I'm gonna sound like I'm wise and know what I'm talking about, but it's actually hollow, empty words.
I have no idea what he's talking about. He just says words.
I mean, I did like the plan of dumping them in the ocean. I mean, it was a decent plan.
It's a good point. It's, hey, let's throw it in the deepest, darkest abyss created from a battle during the First Age. But man, he got there damn fast.
Yeah.
In his little skiff.
And then didn't follow through. It's like, well, what was the point of that?
Yeah. Why even introduce it? Just so we can have him see perfection and understand what's going on? I don't know. It is all so flimsy to me.
Everything's flimsy. Nothing makes sense. Things happen for the sake of things happening. It's plot over actual story.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's just we need to do this to get to this to get to this to get to that. It's as Jed would put it. It's and then storytelling. And then Femron went to Círdan, and then Círdan took the rings and then Círdan had a plan, and then Galadriel comes in. And they have a very rough discussion. And then Círdan didn't throw the rings into the abyss because he saw perfection. Am I wrong?
No.
No.
Yeah, I'm not wrong.
No. They're just going through the motions.
I'd say this is worse than and then storytelling.
Yeah.
This is worse than an and then storytelling because they're not even accomplishing anything, especially in this first episode. At least and then, you're building towards something, even if it's poorly so. Everyone's back to their starting positions by the end of the episode.
I mean, technically right now, as I look at it, we are 47 minutes of about an hour, a little over an hour in. I'm going to ask you right now, what has happened in this episode so far?
Femron's bitching about rings.
Aquaman was born.
Aquaman was born. Sauron doesn't want to use powers, and he likes a doggo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
they made season one even more Galadriel's fault.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't this the scene where Femron actually tells her off? It was like the best part of the episode.
He's done it so many times. I'm not even sure. Remember, I
just keeps telling her off.
All 3 episodes. One after each day, they've all kind of blended
together.
Like
this is the scene where he really rubs it in her face and says, "You screwed up, and you're still screwing up."
No, I think that's the next. I think that's the next episode where he says he's still inside you. And I
right.
Joke over that.
I have a whole joke for that one. I watched episode 2 and 3 back to back today. I completely forget parts of episode, like what they say in episode 1.
Because they say honestly,
Jeremy, together.
What they say in episode 1, they repeat in episode 2. It's the same conversations when you think about it.
Nothing's really progressing in any 3 episodes.
Perfect choice of word. There is 0 story progression really in 3 episodes. I mean, you had some by the end of episode 3. Yes, the events are happening there. We'll get to it, but really, it's just moving pieces around the board with really lame setup and payoff. Very lame, tepid payoff. And this is all about I don't trust anything. How can you trust it? Leave me alone. I'm not going to help you. Blah, blah, blah. Get out of here.
All that's really happened at the end of episode 3 is that Sauron has tricked the dwarves into accepting a ring. That's about it.
Yeah. An actual event.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's the boat. He's going to throw the rings into the sea.
Yeah, and
he doesn't.
I guess that's some good wind right there.
And he doesn't because something bumps the ship.
Well, now we're back at the Stooges, and now I knew this was going to happen because an eagle-eyed viewer pointed out to me at one point that in the trailer you could spot in the next episode in the whirlwind Poppy hanging on to fake Frodo Nori. So it was a surprise that Berry Muncher returns right here. Berry Muncher.
Totally not Sam.
How did she find them?
She says that she discovered it because of the song.
But how did she find
the constellation that they're still looking for?
But how did she find them? Because she says, you haven't gone very far.
Because
They're
maps and songs.
It's
because they've
maps and songs.
been going in circles in the desert because they can't just pick the direction of the sunrise.
Yeah, and they
Well,
can't.
there's that, and they're not singing the song.
They can't sing
Remember,
a song. Jeremy's right. The map sings a song. So a song gets them through the desert with landmarks that you couldn't have used sun and constellations, like Joxer said, to get where you wanted to go.
Because the Harfoots are obviously desert dwellers who've gone
They've been
across
here.
the desert a bunch of times.
They've been here. Isn't that great? They've been here before. So this was just obscenely stupid. This is just dumb, plain and simple. Let's just create a way for them to get through the desert so that Poppy, fake Sam, can be reintroduced to the show and have a purpose. That's it.
Yeah. Because you guys need to sing.
Yeah.
You can't have female Sam without female Frodo.
Yep. And now they're in Rune. Now they're magically in Rune. No fast travel. Boom. And there's the constellation. They just saw the flipping constellation right there.
Yeah.
It was there the whole time.
Again, but see, within the context of the show, they keep traveling east to find the constellation. Like from the first season when he rips the page out of the book.
Yeah.
It's like we have to go look for the constellations. That's not how constellations work. It's not how astronavigation works. It's not how anything works. But the writers are that stupid.
But
that sounds bigoted.
You can still go in the general direction. You don't need a goddamn song.
Yeah.
I like songs though.
Yeah, you're humming them too damn much lately. Now here's Kieran looking on perfection. He has to look on perfection. Because this. And now it is correct. Kieran is the first bearer of the Ring of Fire, where he gives it to Gandalf later on in actual lore.
Is his ring the Ring of Fire? Because he puts it in water a lot.
Yeah, they make it seem like it's the Ring of Water in the show.
But it is the Ring of Fire. It is the Ring of Fire. And now, all right, here's where Sauron does more deceiving, where he's going to say, where Adar seemingly convinced him to make an oath, but he says, I serve the Dark Lord, which means he's just saying, I serve myself. Which it's very...
Yeah. And he has this, he gets a little grin like, I'm fooling you.
The writers thought they were so smart.
I know.
Having him
the writers actually think they're clever, and they're just so not.
But what was he deceiving here? He's like, hey, free my people, and I'll tell you where Sauron is. He frees people randomly, and then he's like, oh, I don't actually know where Sauron is. I can go ask some people, though.
And then the guy gets eaten by the warg, and he chuckles as he hears him die.
Why did Adar change his mind?
Because he's afraid of Sauron, I guess.
Why? You guys ganked him before. Just gank him again. He doesn't use his powers, obviously.
Yeah, he's pretty pathetic, honestly.
Yeah.
Why would you be afraid of the guy you killed earlier?
Yeah. Well, now we're going to head back to Linden, where, here we go. I've been waiting for this. So, first of all, they're singing in Elvish, and it sounds god-awful.
I wanted to rip my ears out.
But we have to note that as they're having their goodbye party, I'm waiting for it. You know what's going to happen. Here's the first glimpse of it. Let's get the full screen. Because, guys, we needed to have diversity.
Tons. They're very diverse elves.
We needed that diversity, man. We needed it. We got to
look at all those. Look at all those disgusting knife ears.
That's a regular brown elf. That's a very black elf. I mean, that guy's blacker than Dre. All right, that guy's
just
blacker than Dre.
There's no wheelchairs. Come on, people.
But Jed, they have a Native American elf. They have a Native American elf.
And European medieval lore, basically.
Is he gonna complain about white man taking my land? Is he gonna complain about that?
He's complaining that the orcs. Well, the white man. Yeah, the orcs took
And
my land.
I bet there's a trans in there somewhere. I mean, this is ridiculous and absurd.
Wait, they're not all trans?
No, some of them are just femboys.
Oh, well, most of them are.
Yeah, but this is just. It's so in your face. Look at our diversity. Aren't we great for our diversity?
And they think they're improving it. They're that arrogant. They think that they're fixing it.
They're fixing Tolkien, guys.
Yeah.
One Punch Tolkien fan. we're gonna get our Asian elf. We're getting that. That's gonna be a part of Guy Ladriel's party. We've seen it in the trailer. We will get the Asian elf.
But we don't have a Jewish elf.
I don't feel represented.
Because we don't. Well, we don't know. I need to take a look at all their noses.
No, I was going to say you want to take a look at all their.
Ted got that one. I'm proud of that.
That headdress could be a kippa with a,
I thought that. I thought you were going to say I want to take a look at something else.
For all we know, they have a Star of Adar. Not Adar, but
well, listen. That only certain elves are circumcised. Then, okay, only certain elves are circumcised. So diversity. Don't we feel seen? Don't we feel represented? Isn't this Tolkien's dream come to life? Because he was so obsessed with diversity. All right, we're almost done. They're about to leave, but then here's going to come Círdan, and he's got elven magical ring Viagra. Because they were also flaccid and unable to get their power up. And it's
Elrond's sad because he can't get pegged.
Yeah. And now here is this very ripping off the bouncing one ring stuff. It's such a rip off of it. And now she's gonna pull it on and she gets a girl boner.
They really treat those rings like they are the one ring, like they're possessing you.
Also these things, also these things look like costume jewelry, man. Look how cheap that looks.
It's bad.
It's just bad. You're right. It's not convincing. As opposed to, and I showed it last time we did all these videos, what Peter Jackson did for the props for the rings in his trilogy. Those look like something magical and mystical. This looks like it came out of a plastic ball in a 25-cent machine that I used to see back in the day when I was a kid.
I'm pretty sure I got that out of a 25-cent machine.
Yeah. So they put it on, and then Gil-galad's going to put his on, and they have, Gil-galad
has a lot of rings.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I saw a really good meme today where they overlaid the power of one, the power of two, the power of many over the scene. Where they,
oh, jeez.
I mean, it fits.
This is so pathetic. And
the
guess
light's
what?
back.
Light's back. Yay. Mithril is powerful, guys. Remember, Mithril created by lightning striking a tree.
Oh, God.
I will give them this. They finally answered the question, what do the rings do, that they never answered in the first season.
Yeah, the rings allow you to affect stuff. And Elrond has been an orgasm.
They're the new Green Deal engines or something.
Oh, Lord. Never went
Elrond had a pity orgasm. He's upset that
he feels guilty about getting off a little bit there. And there you go. I believe we're at the end, pretty much. Now we got a couple more seconds here.
Yeah. Thank God they brought saturation back to Linden.
Yeah,
really important to get that.
And then you got
look
the
at
shot.
the rings.
Look at the rings. Look at the costume jewelry. Yay! And I have to note in all this, still no mention of Celeborn in all this.
Nope.
No mention of Celeborn.
Who's Celeborn? No, nobody cares about Celeborn.
No.
It's just Galadriel and Sauron. Let's ship them.
Oh well, yeah. Hey, they're gonna start pushing that. And then
Galadriel is having a caffeine fit right there, where she.
And now they're lighting the forges at Eregion.
They're
lighting the forges. They're gonna build the new ring forges, and here's
I completely forgot they built a brand new forge.
Yeah, they're building a new forge, and Halbrand's gonna show up, and he's just gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm here." Now, when I saw this episode, because remember, I watched them all separately and did all my reviews separately. I could not conceive how he's gonna show up here and then pretend to be Anatar. Well, they answer that next episode. They answer that. It's dumb and it's stupid, and he's just gonna be there smiling. I'm Sauron the Deceiver, guys. Don't you understand what's going on? All right, so
I'm here to fuck. What's his fuck?
There is so much latent homosexuality between those two.
Latent?
Well, at least on one side. I don't know.
They're gayer than me.
Wow, that's saying something. All right.
Celebrimbor is supposed to have a family by this point in the lore. That's nowhere to be found. So yeah, maybe he's in a love triangle with Galadriel and Sauron.
Listen, we're about to get to some lines that I was able to make extremely gay and just prep everything.
Oh, yeah, I went there too a little bit. All right, so here we are. So, hey guys, all right, 1 hour in, we're done with one. We might get done in less than 3 hours at this rate. So, any final thoughts on episode 1 before we go into episode 2?
Boring, pointless.
Excellent word.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent word.
Rings have magic power, and again, Sauron like doggo.
Every single good idea that Elrond has is shot down for no reason.
Mm-hmm. And Elrond is the sole voice of reason.
Yeah. And I can't say how much it damages season 1, not just because of Sauron's plan, but because if Galadriel had legitimately gone back to Valinor, Sauron would have died. There would have been no plan. Sauron was off the board. Adar, a bit of a problem, but they can handle Adar on their own. Sauron is part of the story. The Third Age happens. The rings, the actual Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit movies, all those are because he decided to jump off a boat.
Yeah. And last season, we were making fun of the fact that he was putting himself there just to be in her way. It's pure coincidence that
Makes
he's there.
it so much worse. There's no master plan.
No, there isn't.
We could accept that he had some way of knowing that she was going to be there. Okay, he's super powerful. Not anymore. He has virtually no power whatsoever. So, yeah.
Oh, he's going to show some power in this episode. Now he's going to make weather. He's going to make
essentially his power, because they say it in episode 2, is if you have close proximity to him and trust him, he'll manipulate your mind.
He can get in your thoughts and know your very soul and warp your reality and make you want to have sex with him, I guess.
But they made it very clear that her finding the raft was entirely a coincidence. Like, he wasn't searching for her. He wasn't anticipating an encounter. He just randomly, it's the dumbest thing.
So then why did he take the, you know what? Why did he take the little bag that has the symbol?
Yeah, there's no plan.
I don't know. They don't make that clear.
Because that's not going to get ID'd at the bar. So he needed a little pouch.
A little pouch with the seal on it isn't like Aragorn's ring of authority, his signet ring. Like if he had a signet ring, okay, that's an actual sign of authority. But the servant had some swag from his days back at the castle. It's like going to Universal, getting a Universal T-shirt, and then showing him, it's like, I'm totally the CEO.
Like, I kept my lanyard.
Yeah.
Wait. Now knowing that the bag is just a random bag that has a sigil of Kings of the South, when Galadriel goes to look up the symbol back in season 1, and she does this whole thing like, you're the King of the South. There was no plan. There's no reason. He
ran with it. It was her idea, and he ran with it.
But anybody could have that bag. So then anybody could be King of the South.
But as they say right here, she wanted to believe he was the King of the South.
Well,
she's say that.
Dumber than ever.
Dumber and thirstier than ever. Thirstier, because we're going to get... All right, so here we go. Episode 2. Let it get gayer. Sorry about that. Here we go.
Let the lube flow.
So now... Sorry, so fake Mount Doom has a burp and causes earthquakes across the entire continent.
All right, that is really far away. Yes, a volcano will make earthquakes. Yes, absolutely does that, but not that far. We did the map in season 1 with the whole her swimming across the ocean thing. It's like a volcano, and I can't remember how we lined it up. A volcano in Florida affecting a mountain in Kansas.
Yeah.
They're pretty far apart.
Yeah.
And it could be along a fault line, but it's still going to peter out. It's not going to travel that far.
And the point is this: Mount Doom is just even in this moment, it's still it's just a part of nature. It doesn't have. It can't affect the world.
Right.
It's not magical.
Well, remember back in I think it's not Revenge, Return of the King. The closer they got to Mount Doom, the more the shakes were. But you have to be close to Mount Doom to feel the shakes. You don't not just far away.
What they're clearly trying to show in this map illustration is that Mount Doom, the evil of Mount Doom, is what's corrupting the undergrowth in
that's not how Mount Doom
rocks
works,
evil.
Though. That's not how Mount Doom. It has some magical power because when Morgoth created Mount Doom, he created it to have some power, and it has the power to forge the One Ring, but it can't shake the world. And that's an interesting point. Common people, Yeah, no, the orcs haven't left Mordor yet. At least not more than a scouting party hasn't
Wait,
left Mordor yet.
I thought that's what the map was showing too, is the spread of orcs, and that explained how the messengers from Lindon were killed. That's what I thought that was about.
No, this is supposed to be Mordor, Mount Doom affecting the world
But-
and sending the earthquake all the way to Khazad-dûm.
Morgoth didn't make Mount Doom in this.
Well,
Adar did.
Well, not even Adar did. Just remember a canal of water.
Yeah, a canal of water made Mount Doom. There's no magical power here.
Yeah.
There's no, but they made Adar too more powerful than he ever could be. He's just a regular elf that's slightly corrupted, but he said he was one of like the 12 disciples of Morgoth. Like,
yeah, you're right. We forgot about that.
Adar on level with Sauron.
What you're right. We forgot. I even forgot to touch on that in my review. I completely forgot that. Yeah, he was elevated as back in his story. We glossed over it. He was talking about how I was chained to a mountain and I had suffered so much, and then here came Sauron with wine, and I drank it, and that's what corrupted me. It's because while he's telling the story to Sauron. He's telling a story about Sauron to Sauron, which was just ridiculous. I can't believe I forgot about that in my review. I guess I was just wanted to rush.
I
through
actually
Shame
just
on me.
that out till you mentioned it.
Shame on me.
And that was a Prometheus reference, an actual Prometheus reference with his liver.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be Mount Doom affecting the world, spreading the darkness of Sauron.
Yeah,
across
it's making the
continent.
rocks evil.
Even though Sauron didn't even make Mount Doom. Water did, because even though the sword was a sword of evil and darkness, it was just a key in that instance.
Was that sword even Sauron's? Was that Adar's sword?
I don't know. It's Adar's sword.
It could be Morgoth for all I
done
know.
Evil. What has Sauron done wrong in the show now after the flashback?
And here's also the thing. We could go back.
He
season
killed
1.
that granny.
When did they even build that dam?
Right.
When
I don't think Sauron had anything to do with it. He's just taken over Mordor.
Yeah, Mordor was never his idea.
Wasn't that dam connected to an elven outpost, an elven watchtower?
I mean, I think we asked these questions last season.
Yeah.
And so Sauron never even wanted to make Mordor. He was happy being up in the north. That was going to be his center of operations, according to the show here.
It's so dumb.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Galadriel's the one that convinced him to go back to the Southlands.
Yeah.
That
would make more sense. That the Balrog was causing some problems in Khazad-dûm.
Yeah.
But
That's
no,
what I thought.
It's Mount Doom. It's Mount Doom. So here come the earthquakes. That's going to cause the sunlight shafts to fall apart so they can't grow.
Oh, I just want to point out, they thought the audience was so dumb. Zooming in on the map where it said Khazad-dûm, they thought the audience wouldn't figure out that they're at Khazad-dûm, so they had to add it into the wide shot.
No, we think we're at Erebor for some goddamn reason.
The animations they do of Khazad-dûm are an improvement over the first season.
The general CGI is passable.
And this is when they're talking about
pinch and pennies,
because he's no longer a prince. Pinch and penny.
Yeah, I honestly forgot he fought with his dad last season.
I did too. I forgot what the whole argument.
I remember that little part. I remembered it later, but
because he gave Elrond Mithril, right? That's why they got into the fight.
Yeah.
I guess all I remember is that his dad smiles a lot and looks.
And
like
he said, "I hate you, Dad. You're stupid and old." And essentially, so here we are.
On par with the real dialogue.
And right now, remember last season? Not us. At least I don't remember us doing it. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, Disa wasn't as bad as we thought she was going to be."
She went full Palpatine at the end of last season.
But
she's so much worse now, though.
She is in this episode. She is just girl bossing everybody around.
She's power hungry. That's all she is. She's a villain.
So she's yelling at him. This is the first instance. She's going to yell at him. We're pitching our pennies because of you. You need to make up with your father. This and that. And I mean, she is so obscenely annoying and horrible.
Mm-hmm. He controls the family finances, obviously.
Yeah.
We're about to get to a scene where she tells Durin, take shelter, brace yourself, and she says it to Durin.
Brace yourself.
But then she yells at everybody else. I said, brace yourself.
Yeah.
Wait, but how did everybody hear that? You just said it to Durin. Why would people pay attention to you?
Yeah. and it's
I really
it's
liked the
just
shot
ridiculous.
where the ceiling like falls in on the bridge. That was pretty cool.
I was hoping I would kill Disa.
Well, yeah, that could happen. She's fat. She could take it. I mean, it would bounce off. So now we have their problem, and here's the problem. Why did everything go dark? They had lanterns lit right there. Why did everything go dark? And now we get our intro.
Yourself.
Now we get.
I still don't understand the intro. I still don't understand what it's
writing
trying to do.
Language and sigils and stuff until you get this.
It's supposed to be like Game of Thrones, and
they should have done like generic forging shots. That's what I would have done, like blacksmith hammers, explosion of sparks while everything's going.
They think they're being clever and cool. You take like House of the Dragon season 1, which was supposed to identify like bloodlines and things of that nature. They think they're being like clever and cool like that, but in reality, it's just sand vibrating and forming shapes.
There is actually a thing where if you vibrate sand on a plate, it'll form into patterns and stuff. They're actually
that's how they did that. They did that for that scene. Is they vibrated a bunch of sand.
They're just animating it to form actual sigils and stuff.
Since we have it here for the first time, just to remind you, every episode this season was directed by women.
Yes, that's how you
most
know
of the writers were women too. If you look at the writers, most of them were too.
That's how you know it's going to be better.
Because Tolkien was a sexist, guys. He didn't like women.
All right, so now here's Galadriel having a nightmare. First she's lamenting her brother. Let me remember the one who talked about stone. What does a stone see? That bullshit. What does the stone think or see? Whatever it was.
What's the difference between a stone and I don't remember.
And then here comes Celebrimbor, but it's not really him. It's a nightmare, and he's gonna do the ring prophecy: 7 for dwarves, 9 for men, 3 for elves, and 1 ring to rule them all. They actually have him say 1 ring to rule them all.
And then magically,
now
it was a nightmare.
I'm gonna be honest. When I saw these roots coming, I thought she was gonna get tree raped.
They got very kinky.
Well, he got tree raped.
Yeah,
he got
because he wants it.
Well, he does want it.
Is it? You know what? I'm not going to say that word because we're also on your channel, not just mine.
Yeah.
Is it violation if he wants it?
No.
Okay.
All right.
He didn't get consent.
All right. So now,
that's true.
Now, I have to pose this. Apparently, no elf had precog abilities until she puts on the ring.
Apparently, yeah, that's what the ring's giving him.
Now, we know Galadriel does have precog. Well, Galadriel, from my understanding, and I'll ask Alf this next week for a confirmation. Galadriel can see things in the present around the world. That's her ability. That's her kind of clairvoyance. It's Elrond that has foresight in the lore.
It's not just him though, because at least in the movie, there's the scene where she can see the alternate futures, Galadriel, and shows them to Frodo.
True,
but Elrond somehow gives it to Arwen too, because Arwen has that potential future with Aragorn that she sees.
Yeah, well,
and he's not wearing the ring, so that's
we got to remember. Peter Jackson monkeyed with Arwen's character a little bit in the movie, so I'm not sure how accurate that is.
True,
but point is, they want, at least I get the feeling from this, they're trying to say that the elven rings are what awakens precognition in elves.
You could draw that conclusion from the way it's portrayed in the show. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. The show wants us to think that because they haven't had any inkling of that until now. So,
they basically treat the rings like as if they were rings of power, the way they were in the movies, and I don't think that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
They treat it a lot like it's the one. All the rings like they're the one ring.
Like now, they should not be aware at all that they're being affected by the rings. They should just think that they're bending the nature to their will through the rings. They should not be aware that
the original description of the rings are they imbued the rulers the ability to command, and the ability to guide and in some cases dominate. No actual I'm making fish jump out of water
Yeah, they should think it's all their own idea. They should think it's all that they're still in control.
Yeah, and I have to point right here, token brown elf right there. Token brown elf.
What were they talking about? They
says
were talking
nothing.
about doing some sort of war.
It's they're planning for war against Adar and Sauron, and when Galadriel comes out of her trance, her big idea when asked is, let's send things upriver.
They're teasing the siege of Eregion.
They are, but I mean, it's let's attack Mordor by going upriver. Okay, good job, Galadriel. Good job. Thanks.
Glad you were at the meeting.
Yeah, you've been so helpful. Commander of the North. So I'm guessing, wait a minute. So I'm guessing, hang on. I'm guessing if she's Commander of the North, let's get a full screenshot, is Commander of the East, West, and South?
Yeah. Well, why did you make the black one or the brown one the South one? Huh?
Oh, I don't know. I was just at random. I don't know. I was just going randomly. Why got to be racist, Stormy?
You're the one that did it, not me.
You're the one that pointed it out. I was just going from left to right.
Listen, you landed on the South one for the black one or the brown one or whichever one.
Brown.
Yeah, it was subconscious for you, Adam.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I accept my bigotry.
Check your unconscious bias.
I accept my bigotry.
Okay, good.
Diversity is our strength. That's what matters.
I accept bigotry. Send super chats to compliment me. All right.
Or me.
Anyway, so that's our big plan. Let's send them river. So now they dismiss it, and honestly, I forget the conversation they have here.
It's like, are you having bad dreams too?
Oh, okay, that's it. That's right. We're going into you having the precognition. That's what it is. I would have remembered it when they go into the hallway because that's where he talks about it. And now we get the first thing. We get the explanation of Sauron's powers and why he doesn't. Last episode he said he trusts her, but now he doesn't trust her to face Sauron by herself because he's still in her mind and she's still weak to him and this and
she's still thirsty.
Not yet. We don't know she's thirsty yet. We don't know that till she talks to Femrond.
We can tell she's still fucking thirsty.
Yeah. Well,
they're all fucking thirsty.
Yeah. So they talk about it. Let's just get right to that part. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, and this is where he lectures her about the powers of Sauron and how you can't do it yourself, and I'll only let you do it if you get Femrond to go with you. You need to convince Femrond. Yeah. And she doesn't like it. Thank you. It's Ariel for $2. Adam is a minority. He can't be bigoted.
No, he's Jewish.
Hey.
He's trans too. We established that.
Oh yeah, he is trans.
Oh god. Oh, shut up. Anyway. It's still there. It was there earlier when I took a pee. It's there.
There's some trannies that still have it.
Oh God, there are. All right, so now we begin the Eregion arc of this, and Halbrand Sauron is still there. Here comes a slightly busty elf. I could see it beneath her shirt.
They're hiding it though, just like Big Tits McGee in the next episode.
They are hiding all sexuality on these characters. They deny me,
except for Halbrand.
She was thirsty for Halbrand.
Well, they're all thirsty for Halbrand. So he does his deceiving thing and makes sure. You see, she's got something going on there. She's got something going on. He makes sure she could see his torture wounds beneath his frock.
You see, I saw that, and there was a part of me that was like, and I even said it in my recording. There's no way that they're actually doing something smart and having him deceive her. There's no way they're actually doing that. I have so little faith that they're not actually doing it.
Yeah, no, he accidents his way into everything in this season. So yeah, this could be entirely accidental.
I agree with Adam after the episode. Like, this is all his point, is to deceive and manipulate and blah blah blah. I 100% it's all accidental.
I do think this represents the morality of the writers, that where victimhood equals virtue, and so they're just planting the seed that he's a victim, guys. You have to have sorry for him.
We are supposed to feel sorry. And
common people for £5 British pounds. Thank you, Dermy, for holding Adam accountable for his unconscious bigotry.
I will always do it. Don't you worry.
And
because I'm the bigot here, not him.
And I will hold Dermy accountable for being gay. So it's true. Anyway,
questionable sexuality. Thank you very much.
Questionable sexuality. Okay, all right. Yeah. You like titties.
I
If
like a
they're on-
lot of things.
If they're on, yeah. Anyway, so they have Celebrimbor resisting his thirst. He hasn't actually laid eyes on Sauron Halbrand yet, so he can resist a little bit right now. And he's like, no. I'm gonna wait for word from Lyndon and Galadriel and Gilgalad. We're not gonna let him in. Galadriel told me when we had our pillow talk that I am not to treat with him anymore.
Yeah.
So
They thought they were so smart using the word treat. They used it like
I know.
7
Yeah,
times.
he's on
I
the
know.
naughty list now. We can't visit with him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No
have to go
entry.
back to making dildos for everybody, and I need to go use my special dildo now.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, and I mentioned, and here's the messengers. That we're waiting for the messengers, and these are the ones that were said. Now, here's the illusion. Here's the foreboding that Adar's already got scouts in the area, but we know that
Very lucky
Adar's.
they killed the 2 elves
I know.
that Sauron needed him to.
Yeah. Again,
Adar's really just helping Sauron without even meaning to.
Yeah.
But
Well, this is
Go
the
ahead.
thing. Here goes to the whole accidental shit.
Yes.
Did Sauron plan this, or is this an accident? Did this just happen to happen?
I don't know. All I know is that
I don't think they know.
the armies aren't even on the move yet because you see in next episode, Adar is still in Mordor. He's still in Mordor. They haven't moved the armies yet. So are these scouts sent by Sauron or Adar?
I don't know. Adar, I would think.
Oh, we're going to get barrow whites this season. We already know that. We know they're coming. Fortunately, thankfully, Alf will be here to really tell us how bad that is.
The whole point of the sequence is to try and make Celebrimbor look less stupid. It's like,
But he
if
isn't.
only he had gotten the message, he would have
He's just
done the right
dumb.
thing. But
See, here's
yeah.
the problem. Here's the thing. They could fast travel. I don't know why he doesn't just fast travel to Linden.
Yeah.
You could walk there.
Celebrimbor can walk there in a nightgown and no problem. So,
Last season, they walked from Eregion to Khazad-dûm in a day.
yes. And then they made Celebrimbor walk back later
Yeah.
in the afternoon.
Yeah. I don't know why they just walk there. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. And see, now he knows. I guess he knows that it's happened. All right. So
Maybe
we got
he
the
did it,
stupids
but-
again. All right.
Oh.
Here, I have a question.
No, we don't.
So
Stupids. We have
Well,
the
it's the stupid segment, though, is how I think of it.
we
The
have
stupids.
Conan.
But here's the thing. So these dudes in Rune have this insignia that you could get a good shot of it right there. This insignia on.
That's an eye.
Thank you, Dermy. Is that the Eye of Sauron?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm leaning towards yeah.
But there is no Eye of Sauron yet.
But this is where Sauron got his idea to be an eye.
Yeah. He's just copying. He's culturally appropriating the diverse people.
I mean, this is
Oh
where we
my
also
God.
get the fucking the Nazgals.
Yeah, one of them comes back. So now we get our shot of what I have to assume, because he doesn't have a name put to him yet, and until I get a name, I cannot plug it in to any sort of search engine or knowledge
They
center.
call him the Dark Wizard in the script.
Yeah, but he has no name yet. So
Yeah.
this guy, he's got to be a fanfic character.
He
He's gotta
100.
be.
All this is fanfic.
Well, yes.
This is fucking Conan at this
Oh,
point.
yeah, no
When
question.
you watch a scene, this just looks like Conan the Barbarian.
Mhm.
Like desert area, random sorcerer that does random abilities. You get the fucking Death Eaters coming on in. They look like fucking Conan soldiers.
I'm not
These
against
are
that.
all-
It's just not Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but we're in Rune.
Yeah.
No, Ariel, we're in Rune. This is Rune. We're in Rune. We've seen it on the map. We're in Rune. This is it.
Yes, they're very adamant. They like when they got there, they showed the map, the name of the land on the map on the landscape itself. They're very
So
very
he's gonna
direct about it.
he's gonna do some blood magic. Now you gotta remember, these writers copy other stuff. So somebody's playing Dragon Age maybe at the same time I am. So they're gonna do a little blood magic, and he's gonna summon back one of the
Not
chicks.
so Slim Shady.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what we called her last year. I couldn't remember my review, so I didn't try to butcher the joke. So I kind of let it go. But that's a good one. I like that. Furiosa.
The moth swarm animation is actually really good. Like that's actually a really difficult thing to animate like that.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. My complaints are all about the writing.
Oh yeah,
and the costuming and the acting and the characters. That's what my
like
complaints
George
have been.
Lucas once said that a special effect without a story is a boring thing, and he didn't always follow his own advice. But that's what we got here. We got some pretty special effects, but there's no story to back it up, so it's actually really boring.
So she's undead, so I'm not surprised he can resummon her, but he now berates her for her failures, and go ahead.
He says that he's like berating her for her failures and says, "I hope I should don't make me regret using this meat on you when I could use it on something else." And you hear something like groan and growl in the back.
Yeah, you're right. And
I really like the actor who plays the Dark Wizard, Carrion Hines. He's the guy that played Caesar on Rome.
Oh yeah, I never watched Rome.
He's a very good actor. I've seen him in a ton of stuff.
I hope he got a great paycheck out of this because he's being completely wasted on this crappy script.
But here's the thing. Now here comes dude in the mask. Jeremy called them the Death Eaters. This is where he says they're all worried about Gandalf, not Gandalf, getting his powers and causing problems, which is why they tried to stop him for some reason. We don't know yet. And this guy says he may be the solution to our wasting sickness, which is apparently maybe they got some advanced version of monkeypox. I don't know.
It's just a bad sunburn.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, they're in the desert a lot. They probably don't have enough water.
And the guy says here, we need to stop the wizard. We need to get him to either do something. They want him to do something for them while stopping him from getting his full powers. And their plan is to get the two little cannibals and threaten to kill them to get him to do what they want.
They want to take him alive by threatening to kill the Harfoots.
Yeah. Cannibals. They're cannibals.
Which I have no problem. I have no problem with.
I know you have no problem. You if I was dead on the road and you needed to survive, you'd eat my thigh in a second.
Yes.
I would be used to seeing you. Okay, so they're following the map in the song, and here's some really bad humor about naming. Who wants to go over this idiocy of what is a name?
The idea.
He says the line. Nobody gives anybody a name.
You already have a name, and it's just when it's said, it rings out to you. I'm pretty sure my mother named me.
My mom named me.
Yeah, 99% of people aren't given their name, unless it's some magical situation like it is for him. And he does have multiple names from the lore. Gandalf has multiple names. So which one is his real name?
The angel, the one of his actual angelic form is his real name, I think. I think that I don't remember what it is.
What I mean is, which one are they going to use for him? Is Gandalf?
Whichever one they have the rights to.
I wanted to say I was hoping they would say Gandalf and just go like no, and then go like okay, so now we're narrowing it down. Thank you very much.
My name is Saruman. I'm telling you, I would. It's not. I kind of think we call Gandalf not Gandalf for the joke sense, but I'm equally feeling this could be Saruman. There's as much feeling it could be Saruman as
I don't know if they've decided. They just want a wizard, and they'll decide later.
There's that they're lifting lines. They lift the line at the end of season 1 from Gandalf in the movie. So I can't remember which YouTuber it was. He called him Shamdolf. That's my favorite.
But then again, these idiots will use anything to try and member bury you.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be anything. So either way, so they do this whole
Plus the fact that it's female Frodo, female Sam, travel with fake Gandalf. It makes sense.
And so it's this whole naming thing.
I don't think they're not imaginative. They are copycats. They are plagiarists.
Oh, look at Sam there.
And they're gonna they come. So this whole naming thing it's both forced humor and again empty, profound dialogue. And they discover that the map ends going into the desert.
Well, no, they figured out. Yeah, it's a shortcut. It doesn't end. You could go through the desert and time would be like cut in half.
But they don't want to do it. They make one more name joke, and then they're gonna have a powwow.
But they can see the other side of the.
I know it's not that far, and so they don't want to do it. They're talking about scorpions and food and this and that, and it's really dumb. until they realize that Death Eaters are coming. Let's get to it. Death Eaters are coming. And, the Harfoots are really great at disappearing. And, oh, no, look, isn't it funny? They disappeared. He couldn't. And it's a really stupid scene with bad tension. There's no tension to this. It's
just there.
They're just there. Oh, no. Is the snake going to get them when he kicks it off the ridge? I don't know. And then he stabs it.
Why did he stab it?
It wasn't a threat to him. It's manufactured tension that doesn't work. So now they're going to be all nervous. Go ahead.
He lifts his knife too.
Almost every scene is repurposed from the Jackson movies. This is the repurposed scene where Frodo and Sam are hiding under that elven cloak thing. That's all it is.
In front of the Black Gate. You're right. You're very right. So now they're forced to go through it. Go through the desert.
This whole thing is retarded. Okay, so they're forced to go through the desert because the Death Eaters are on their trail and are just tracking them. So we're gonna go through the desert, which will be a whole lot easier to track us, see us, spot us. But it's got to be totally a whole lot better, guys.
And they still find them.
Yeah.
They still find them instantly as soon as they make a mistake. And we'll get to that when we get to that scene. Because now we're back at Khazad-dûm. And long story short, it's time for Disa Girl Boss time. On top of that, though, let's just get right to it. First, Disa has to yell at two other fat dwarf chicks about the rumors that everything's bad because during the 4th had his boyfriend come visit him in the mines.
Hey, don't forget, she also said rumors are like a songbird. Far away, they sound appealing, but then close up, they're an empty meal.
Hey, she wouldn't know anything about missing a meal. All right. Now, this whole part here, this is complete and total fan fiction.
Sing harder next time.
But not even that, there's no such thing as stone singing. I looked it up.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There's no such thing as dwarven stone singing. This is complete bullshit.
This is just to boost the status of Disa within the dwarven thing.
Thank you. That is absolutely correct. All this is to make Disa important and indispensable. Because she's the bestest ever at stone singing. Yes, she fails. But even after she fails, and I love her, I love what she's going like that. It's horrific. The problem is,
remember, she makes it clear that it's not her fault, though. So she's still a girl boss. It's not her fault, though, that the rocks aren't listening.
Right.
I mean, if I hadn't already used this in a recent thumbnail, I would have used this for my thumbnail for the video, but I already used this on a different thumbnail, so I couldn't for the trailer.
Well, this whole thing is retarded. So she tells them, our stone singing hasn't been able to work yet, so let's try it again, and we're just got rid of our last bit of light because we failed.
No, I think that was a vision. No, that was a vision, Dermy. Oh. That was a vision. That wasn't actually there. There is no light. She was singing her way to the path, and then it all got closed off because she couldn't do it because they can't hear the stone anymore.
Because daddy and son are angry with each other.
Yeah, I guess so. But does
that make sense?
Well, that's
the stones are evil now. That's why they're not listening. Yeah. The stones are evil from Mount Doom.
Because daddy and son are angry.
And he's stubborn. They're both stubborn, and she's the one that knows best. And she can yell at them and girl boss them and bully them into being right because she's right and they're wrong. That's essentially what this is right here.
Because she's power hungry.
Mm-hmm.
She just wants power.
She said it last season. We need to take the power for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
She said that. That's a good one. If I were a rock, I wouldn't listen to it either. None of us want to listen to these. None of us want to be here. This is horrible and stupid. So it must be terrible to have such a closed off heart to stubbornness. Must be hard to rule. And he says, yeah. You can.
He just smiles all the time. I always like Durin.
She is so insufferable.
Mm-hmm.
She's insufferable.
Dwarves would be a whole lot better without her.
Yes, she is merely there. I don't know why she's here.
to have girl boss moment to
There you go.
shame everybody, and then Durin be pathetic because he should have just off with her head right here.
Intersectional feminism. That's the only reason she's here. Like
because we need black dwarfs.
And yeah, and yeah, that too. She serves no actual lore purpose because stone singing doesn't exist. During the fourth shouldn't even been during the fourth. We went over that last season, and she has no. And they gave her the stone singing priestess to give her a significant role in society so that she can be present and significant and all this stuff. That's it. That's it. Stupid.
Well, she's also married to Durin, who shouldn't be alive, but still.
Well, oh no, he shouldn't. He should be alive, just not named.
Yeah, he gets the name Durin by being king.
Yeah. And so, like we said, last year people said, oh, Disa wasn't so bad in season 1. Well, she's bad now in season 2. She's insufferably bad. Okay, I love this part where apparently Durin's never done a day of work in his entire life. Apparently.
Yeah, we saw him digging in season 1, the Mithril mine shaft.
Yeah.
With Elrond.
So he's got blisters, and
he literally did a competition against Elrond to break things.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which means he's done it before. So now he gets blisters from doing a little bit of manual labor, and some other older dwarves are going to bully him.
Yeah,
and
I remember when I got blisters when I was 7.
And we don't see it here, and we don't see the impact of it. But apparently, they beat him up because after he gets back from Eregion, he makes some reference about miners have thick fists or something like that. Like they'd been beating his face, and they whoever could see it.
That's my point, Jed. He says, don't touch me again or I'll bite your finger off the knuckle. So he pushes him, but essentially we don't see him fight back. So I drew the conclusion that he just is a bitch.
Yeah.
He is a bitch.
That was my impression, is that he let himself get beat up.
Yeah, right there. Get beat up.
He threatened to go Golem on them and then didn't go Golem.
And then we cut right to dinner where Disa's going to bully and yell at him.
All he'd have to say here to figure out if he was a bitch or not is, I'm not hungry, honey. I had something to eat at work.
That would have been good, Dermy. That would have actually been really good.
Or even to Dermy's point, on a more serious note, they could have just had him reference, I had to knock a few teeth out here and there. That's why I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah.
I knocked a few heads, pulled a few beards, But
Whoa,
no.
Pull that beard.
Hey, listen.
Well, he probably does pull a few beards.
Or he has his beard pulled. Well, remember...
Disa's his beard, though.
Well, yeah, because Femron catches. He doesn't pitch. But right now she bullies him, and it's just her yelling at him. That's essentially what it is. Yelling at him that you're as bad as your father, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. You need to listen to me. You're both idiots. I'm right. You're wrong. That's all this is. There's nothing else to this.
Yeah, they're not partners. It's a terrible relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Unlike last season where she was painted as amenable and normal and sane and not a girl boss. Well, she's full Sith Lord now.
There is a good line in this scene, though. Durin says, "You're giving me indigestion."
She gives me more than that. Gives me heartburn. Well, I guess heartburn is indigestion. Heartburn is sort of indigestion, I guess.
Indigestion.
All right. We've been waiting for this. So Galadriel goes to visit Femron while he's working on a ship, and everybody just clears the F out. Notice how everybody just gets the hell out of there immediately. And
no one wants to be near her.
I know.
Because they have their own weird sexual tension between them.
What happens here, this is the beautiful part. Now, Dermy, I know you want to really, really lay into this one. This is where she's trying to convince him to join her party to go after Sauron because she needs him.
She basically has to beg.
And she's trying good. She's trying to beg. And now here's the thing where she has to admit, I need you because I'm afraid I can't be close to him.
Because she wants that dick. Yeah. She knows if she gets close to him, she's going to bend over and go like, come at me. I peg everybody else. I want you to mount me. Because she's fucking freak.
He says it right there. I don't know if it's it. I think maybe it's a couple seconds before where she says, I'm afraid he's still inside me. And she flashes back to episode 8 where they were sitting on the log after they caught Adar, where I thought this is it. He's gonna jump her, and they're gonna do it. At the last second, we're gonna get them doing it, and that was her moment where she wanted him really badly. And then he says right here, he never left. He's still inside you. Now I made a great joke to intro this video where I said, oh yeah, he's gonna be inside her over and over again before the season's over. He's gonna totally.
I
is.
hope so. We got blue balls in season 1.
Yeah,
I want elf nipples. I want whatever the fuck Sauron is, ball banging hard.
Well, we've seen in the trailer that Galadriel and Anatar Sauron are going to come face to face, and he's going to fight her. She has a sword, and he's going to have his crown, and he's going to say, "I am still a part of you." And that might be the moment where she gives in, or close to it. I don't know.
Gives in and gets down on her knees like Kamala Harris.
Hey, we're not political here, Dermy.
It was right there.
We may be pornographic, but we're not political. All right.
This is the best scene in
the right in the face.
This is my favorite scene of this episode, just because it's the only time anyone has ever even attempted to put Galadriel in her place.
You're right. He tells her to leave. We are friends. After he rips her apart, he tells her the truth. As far as this series goes, you are tainted. He's in your head. You're thirsty as hell for him.
You're still
I can't trust
caught in the thirst trap.
Yeah. Oh boy, can we get a timestamp on that one? We need a timestamp on that one. Somebody send me the timestamp.
Well, so this is my thing. Like, because I'm still working off. When I was watching this, I'm still working off of Elrond from last season, who's Finrod.
Yeah,
and because
that's why
their characters constantly keep moving around. So when I was watching the season, he was saying the correct stuff, but he's saying it because Galadriel wants to go fuck Sauron, but he wants Galadriel to fuck him with her dildo strap on, and he's mad that he's not going to get the dildo strap on.
Saying the right thing for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Yes. Because
that's why he walks away in disappointment in the earlier scene.
Yeah.
And it's why once she leaves the scene, he's disappointed. Sad. I just want that dildo.
And it's all, but Jeremy, you're right in a sense. It's hard to keep calling him Femron because he's acting more like Elrond here than Femron. He is a little bit. So I started saying he's getting closer to being Elrond, and he says, "Leave. If our friendship ever meant anything, leave." And so she leaves. God damn it! Hit my nose with screens. And she's gonna go off, and he's just going to go back to carving wood, feeding the ducks, whatever he's doing there.
He loves.
It looks really weird, sped up. It does.
He's carving a giant duck.
He's sad.
Oh, shaving.
Oh, God.
There it is. He's shaving.
That's actual shaving cream too, and he's using a rock. That's not even a knife. That's just a rock. But this scene, I think, has the worst pseudo-intellectual dialogue that we've been talking about in this show. Yeah. The line that it was something weird, like the purest form of humility is putting aside your suspicions.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I can't remember what he said the definition of humility was here, but it was far off the mark. It was basically like, turn off your common sense and you're humble.
All I remember from this scene, other than the humility thing, was also that I guess a poet was a drunkard, and I was like, I want to interact with this poet.
Yeah, that would make me want to read his poetry more.
Yeah.
So this whole thing is about basically, like Jed said, fake philosophical bullshit about giving up your identity, kind of, and accepting things. But at the same time, it's Elrond. Your friends need you. Don't abandon your friends.
Yeah, he's basically trying to guilt him into keeping an eye on Galadriel to keep her in line.
Well, it's not just that. The other thing is, one of the things he specifically said was, these rings are super powerful and are just unbelievable. They have just unbelievable amounts of power, but you can trust it because we're in control of the power.
Well,
again, the way they're treating these rings, they're treating them very similar to how the One Ring gets treated. And
you're exactly right.
Giving it all this stuff. And it's like, if you're going to do that, no, just because the elves have this power isn't a good thing. They have, there's tons to this that just doesn't make sense for them.
It's a bastardized version of the speeches Galadriel and Gandalf give to Frodo about how the One Ring would seem to be a good choice to use to do good, but through them it would do evil. But the point is, the Elven rings weren't tainted.
Right.
So by talking about the rings as though they're possibly tainted, even it's by rehashing those speeches like this, it kind of all falls apart.
It makes them
even
seem
says,
like
"Well, we can't let these rings fall into Sauron's hands because that would just be awful. He's the one who made them, for crying out loud."
Well, not these rings. I mean, but that's why it makes this even worse, because Sauron is, by this show's idiocy, he's involved in the conception of the rings, of the Elven rings, when in reality, in actual lore, while he was involved in the creation of the ring making process with Celebrimbor, he was never involved in the making of the Elven ring. So it makes it, as I said earlier, topsy-turvy and stupid.
And it's
incredibly stupid.
Well, it's also like what Jed just said. It makes it seem like the rings are tainted.
Yeah,
and it throws it all off when in fact the Elven ring should not be tainted.
Like I said, they're playing the rings as if they are the One Ring from the movie.
Well, I hate his logic in this scene too, because he makes the whole like separate the art from the artist thing that we do talk about sometimes, and it is a legitimate thing when it comes to pop culture and the poems he was talking about. But I feel like there's a difference between, oh, you like some poems from a bad guy, to, oh, you might be using a magical ring that can destroy the world. Yeah, separate the art from the artist there, mate. That's terrible logic. That's a false equivalency.
Yeah.
It's bad writing. Plain
Incredibly bad writing.
People who
he's the wisest of the wise, the oldest of the old.
Because he's old.
The old saying, characters are only as smart as the writers who provide them their life and their existence. These writers are dog shit. They have no understanding of humanity, people, anything. They only know bullshit.
That's the problem that plagues the writing of every single episode, is that the characters they are all dumbed down to the level of the writers. That's why they're sound so stupid as they are.
That's why they use that pseudo philosophical like speeches and stuff that make it sounds very fluffy, frou-frou, and smart, but when you break it down, it's like, this is some of the dumbest shit that you could ever have.
Yeah. All right, so now here comes the dumbest shit yet. The Stooges. All right, how long do you think they've been walking? Do you know?
Half a day.
So they're suffering dehydration in half a day. I mean, listen, you could be dehydrated, but you're not at pass out levels, I don't think, like this.
Well, it's so inconsistent the time of this show. This could be a half a day, or it could be 6 months.
We don't know. Yeah. I mean, so and somehow Barry Muncher spotted a well, and they're going to drag Gandalf, not Gandalf, there. And
so at the flag
what I love is that after the whole thing of getting the water up, that cinch or I guess the device that will hold the rope in place, that looked pretty sturdy to me. Uh-oh, it's just gonna fall off.
Yeah, but this is the terrible.
Ring a bell.
Yeah, you can
Why
stop
is there
this
a bell?
easily. You don't want people stealing your water.
They just ignore it like it's not happening.
But I don't know anything about this well. It randomly has that flag. They just stare at it has a bell. Nothing
and
here
the
makes
shepherd's
sense.
Crook, and the shepherd's crook.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they ignore the bell and just start drinking water because they need it. I mean, it's just stupidity beyond belief. And the dudes, the Death Eaters, are just so happen to be close enough. They're right there.
They're also drinking that water very wrong. I get it. You're parched right now, but you would not be drinking
water
sip that fast. You
got to sip it. You cause yourself more harm if you chug it, or at least do it that rapidly. So the shepherd's crook. Oh, look, Gandalf has a staff.
He finally has a staff around these two little girls.
Well, he has to focus it. Oh God!
Again, I'm not a major lore guy, but I feel like Gandalf's staff is more than just a random piece of wood. Like there's something pre-made about it. Like
it's representing that a wizard needs a focal point for their magic. Otherwise, it's wild magic in the camp.
Well, also they come down with their staffs, so he shouldn't have to find a staff.
Well, I thought they could make them too.
I don't. You know what? I need to look. Where's Alf?
Well, he does have a new staff when he comes back as Gandalf the White. It is a different staff.
And even though, and in the but as the movie shows it, even when the Witch King shatters a staff, at the end of the movie, he's made a new one. He has a new one.
Mhm.
So
At least in the movies, yeah, you can make one. But I feel like there's effort involved.
Yeah. So here come the Death Eaters, who have stormtrooper aim with those arrows. And let's just get right to it. He's going to chant and make some magic. Here comes a whirlwind.
Yep.
Now, not bad effects. Good job. Some magic, but Poppy and Nori, they can get blown away. They're going to get blown away.
This is the one good thing that he's done.
But he's going, Nori! Nori! Poppy, I don't care about you.
I'll give this scene some credit. It was nice to see that, yes, wizards need a focal point for their powers, but it can't just be anything to be that focal point. Because the shepherd crook ends up just withering away and just going bye-bye.
It's not like in season 1 when he stole the Nazgul's staff, which also disintegrated because it wasn't built to handle his level of power. But that can be a legitimate wizard staff there because that was something. But and they get blown away, and I laughed.
Yeah, me
because
too.
They should be dead. They should be dead because they get thrown high up.
They get trebucheted. They get eaten.
Yeah, they are flung to the far reaches.
I wish episode 4 started with just their corpses on the ground and Gandalf kneeling in front of them. I would forgive a lot.
Just the blood splats.
You know what's going to happen though? It's this now because episode 3 we get a break from Galadriel and the Stupids. Episode 4 is going to be Tom Bombadil.
Probably.
It's going to be the introduction of Tom Bombadil.
So, yeah.
He's going to save them.
Well, I don't know. Considering how lucky everything in this show, it might just be like a big lake on the other side of that hill that they land in.
Or they're hanging off a tree or something like that by their rags. All right, so now Celebrimbor, I don't know if this is a lore accurate artifact or not, what he shows up here. I need somebody to tell me this.
So this is the moon writing that we saw in The Hobbit. Remember the map?
I know that.
Well, it's not just that. It's also the what is above. It's not the entrance to Khazad-dûm, but
the Mines of Moria entrance.
Door to the Mines of Moria.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's what this is.
He makes it out of mithril. I think he says something about mithril.
It's the remainder of the mithril.
So you don't need mithril for everything.
No, you do in this one because it's the ultimate Swiss Army
MacGuffin
item that can do anything. It's do anything. All right, so now after
it's do anything stone.
So he's talking with Busty assistant there, and he gets a look at Halbrand Sauron, and now the thirst is going to be too much for him.
Yeah,
it's going to be too much for him.
His butt cheeks are puckering.
Now, this wasn't. I do actually like this moment. I can admit that Sauron decides to make some weather, and he's doing because he turns around and you can't see it because of the effect we're using here. But he's got his eyes shadowed.
Eyes shade over a little bit.
Yeah, he's got evil eyes going on here.
I didn't think that was him. I noticed the evil eyes. I was like,
no, that was him. He made the storm because he's now. This is them taking into the next level of his manipulation of Celebrimbor.
Telling you, he's a druid. He's like a high-level druid in the show.
Because now Celebrimbor is going to take a walk in the rain with the worst umbrella ever.
That poor soldier behind him.
Look, he's walking there. Can't quite see it. He is soaked to the bone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was the point?
Dramatic effect.
The point is, I'm getting all lubed up for you already. Okay, buddy?
Oh, ew.
We're about to see the beginning. We are seeing the literal beginning of the gayest relationship in this show.
They've hinted at it. They have hinted at it in the previews. So now, basically, Sauron's going to talk his way in there. But
remember in the trailer we were giving them a hard time, like the wig is what deceived, like somehow his disguise that got him in. It's like, no, he's not even in disguise. It's just Halbrand.
Yeah, he just talks his way in. He manipulates him, tells him half-truths and lies about Galadriel, and I have news of the rings and this and that. And he's gonna get in there, and I just want to. And I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go. You don't need me. I'll go. And he manipulates him until he comes in for a glass of wine and some food.
He gives him some information to let him know that, the rings actually worked. Like he's been worried this whole time that he hasn't heard any word from Galadriel or Elrond or anyone, and so
that's
how
what
does this
conversation
Sauron know that though?
Yeah,
he hasn't been to Lindon, and they're incredibly inconsistent with his power. Actual Sauron totally could believe he could sense the tree.
And Jed, this is where I don't know how his powers work, but if I do the whole like what they've established for his powers so far, like he gets in your head and he's already there. He's probably seeing something between him and Galadriel. Plus, you have Morphic Clark going like, well, they have this like telepathic connection and stuff like that. So I think he does know what's going on.
He can see into Galadriel's mind.
Yes, or maybe he's the one that's giving her the bad dreams. I don't know.
Or maybe he's just lying to Celebrimbor, pretending he knows what happened.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who knows? Who knows? Like Jed said perfectly, they've been so inconsistent about Sauron's power set that we don't really know what he's fully capable of or what he's doing or not. And those of us who have working brains and know who or what Sauron can do, we're applying. It's like when you guys yell at me when I'm covering Star Wars, I'm applying actual lore to Disney Star Wars to try and explain shit when I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
We're applying actual Sauron abilities here to Halbrand Sauron and eventually Anatar Sauron that haven't been implemented at all.
We're actually thinking about it harder than the writers have.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
Well, the worst part about this is how I usually try to address these shows is I do what they show me within the show and I work within the bounds that they're giving me. The bounds that they're giving me don't make sense.
Yes.
Nothing makes sense. They contradict themselves constantly with what their powers are and what their abilities are. So I have to try to piece it all together, and all I can figure out is Halbrand's inside Galadriel's head, or Sauron.
He's also inside Celebrimbor.
Yeah, well, and Celebrimbor,
because
they both really want him inside him.
Right now, Celebrimbor has been told that the rings. He's so excited the rings work. He's going to get that bottle of first stage wine, and this is where I talk. This is where the real latent homosexuality I said comes into play. Where he says, "Are we friends? Are we friends?" He says, "Of course we're friends." Well, I have to tell you the truth of what I am.
Gay.
Coming out of the
closet.
closet.
Secret.
Yeah.
I have a secret. You have to take your pants off to learn it, but I have a secret. And he basically does. He gives the speech of what Gandalf and the other wizards are, sent from heaven to help guide people.
Yeah.
And help out and stop bad things from happening. And he pulls that hat trick out of his hat and convinces him that he's here to help and that he's not human, not mortal, not even anything. And then he's going to vanish here in a second. I'm hurrying up to get there. He vanishes,
is a long scene.
but it's glorious, gloriously cringe.
Oh, we're about to get Jesus.
We're about to get Anatar Jesus. Good way to put it. I wish I thought of that one.
Well, his robes, they changed his robes where they're not elvish robes anymore. They're 100% traditional Jesus robes.
Yeah.
I wish I thought of that in my review.
He was Moses in in episode 1 saying, "Let my people go." Now he's Jesus.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. I mean, I went a little bit Reverend Rabbi Adam during the scene in my review. I went a little bit. I dipped in a little bit to that. But I wish I'd said Jesus rose. Damn it, Jed. Damn it. I wish I'd said Jesus.
I will come from fire to save you.
And he's talking and he gives the whole spiel of all this stuff. And here he comes, big forehead and everything.
He literally says.
And he literally says, "You will be the Lord of the Rings."
Roll credits.
He says, "You will be the Lord of..." That is so goddamn cringe.
Why are you trusting this man? He literally came from the fire.
I mean, there's only one time they've ever actually uttered. You've seen the word in using Peter Jackson's trilogy as an example. You know, we see Frodo writes the book, The Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
But then
I think Gandalf says it once.
Well, he says it once when he's talking to what's his name? The Steward of Gondor. Fuck, I just forgot his name.
Denethor.
Denethor, thank you.
Yeah.
Talking to Denethor, he says, "There is only one Lord of the..." Oh, no, he's talking to Saruman. He's talking to Saruman. There is only one Lord of the Rings, and he does not share power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fellowship.
He's talking to Saruman. His fellowship. I mix it up. He's talking to Saruman. That's the only time you ever hear the line, Lord. And in that moment, of course, it's Sir Ian McKellen playing off of Sir Christopher Lee. You got two powerhouse actors just chewing up scenery. That's powerful and meaningful. This is, I'm Elf Jesus, and I'm here to give you the title Lord of the Rings. Ridiculous.
Well, you take a look at what Gandalf saying that to Saruman was a warning of Sauron, was saying that he's not on your side. He's not here to be like
you are manipulated,
to share the world with. Yeah, you're being manipulated and controlled. Yeah. This is just Sauron going like, I bestow upon you the Lord of the Rings.
I wish I'd made this joke in my review, but I forgot to. Celebrimbor, as soon as he sees him like this, he goes right to his knees. He goes right to his knees. Yeah. He is ready. When he hears he's basically an angel god come to help him, he gets right to his knees. And now we love this scene right here of Guy Ladriel really being put in her place. I do love it because it flies in the face of all the work they did last season. Now, of course, they're going to have her be the bestest ever by the end of the season.
Of course.
They will. This is her hero's journey where she's got to be laid low by the by the patriarchy, so she can come back stronger than ever.
Yep.
You know they're going to diminish Elrond.
Oh,
you know they
are.
Well,
he does be shown in the trailer to have success during the Siege of Eregion. But she's going to be separate from him.
I thought the editing was kind of weird. Like at the end of the scene, they zoom in. Like he tells him, "Oh no, you're not gonna be in charge of the expedition. Elrond is." And then they zoom in. They do a slow zoom on her face, and the music swells. And it's like, what emotion are they trying to evoke there? What are we supposed to feel?
Resting bitch face.
I know.
Like right here, I love this shot. Elrond says nothing. It's just, yeah, I'm in charge now. And then here it is, resting bitch face.
Yeah, there's not emotion I can glean from this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just resting bitch
Especially
face.
when, like you said, that's her resting face. So this is her baseline. This is nothing.
And she's so infuriated.
But the music tries to turn it into something else, and it just doesn't work.
And the problem is they cut out, and then the episode should have ended there. But then let's tack on the invitation to Eregion. And one last chance for Disa to bully Durin a little bit.
I don't know if I was the only one who got the impression that the tunnels to the surface were sealed too in the earthquake.
Yes, that was.
I thought so too, but they said that there's a way up to barter with the people above.
I guess
you could put little mirrors, to at least get some of the crops growing again.
Maybe
you could,
or expand those tunnels. Maybe. Like try to make them bigger. They know those areas are safe to dig. Make those tunnels bigger.
Jed, you're using logic.
Yeah.
You gotta
stop that.
You gotta stop. All right. Episode 2.
You get kicked out of these writing rooms like in a heartbeat. Well, that and also you have a penis, but
episode 2 is in the bag. Episode 3. All right, so episode 2. Well, let's ask a question. What happened in episode 2 that took an hour?
They didn't like the rings being on so much.
They didn't like the rings. A lot of talking and long pauses.
Anatar.
Anatar.
Dwarves.
Not really a whole lot happened there. Just you need the scene of the tunnels collapsing with the mirrors, and that's all you need for the dwarves.
Celebrimbor finally met his soulmate. I don't know.
Yeah. They're gonna get gay together. So okay. 2 episodes, and a lot of that could have happened in one episode if you just compressed it.
Using their same writing talent, like just pure editing, I could make these 3 episodes 1 episode easily, no doubt in my mind.
Certain scenes don't need to be there. There are several scenes are just entirely.
Certain shots don't need to be there. Like there's when they're at the shipwrights, like they use a whole shot of the shipwright against the sunset to indicate the passage of time, and then
the only time to indicate the passage of time.
All right, you point out something I wanted to bring up. I guess I didn't see it. There's the shot when Galadriel and them go down to the shipwright to get the rings. Right, they know that's where Elrond is. They show the light of the lighthouse. It's pointing directly at the ground. It passes over Galadriel. Yeah, it's not pointing out to the sea. It's reflecting to the ground right in front of it. They show it passing over a few times. What is the point of a lighthouse if the beam is shining at the ground?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because you have to know it's a lighthouse. But here's another example. Like several of these scenes are either too long because they have to they have to get those stoic faces that don't
Yeah.
know how to emote and do the whole thing and try to show you like, hey, they have a face here. You don't know what the face they're making, yet they have a face.
Yeah.
And then they have entire scenes that just don't need to exist. A good example of this actually was in this episode when you get the fucking Death Eaters and stuff. When they're first shown in this episode, there's just one of them riding a horse for like
for
2 minutes.
no reason.
Just
And
riding.
like and then they show the horse riding off, and one of the companions turns and watches him leave. It's like
this show is an editing nightmare. It really
Mhm.
is. It's they could cut 20 minutes off of each episode, easy.
they
Make
can
our
even
lives
just
easier.
make the shots shorter and save
Yeah.
tons of time.
All right,
They
so
could cut tons of dialogue. Tons of dialogue.
because they repeat dialogue. They
Yes,
repeat
the
conversations.
scenes are repeated. It's soap opera writing. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched a soap opera, but soap operas, it's actually harder than it looks. Like, they have to write the same scene multiple times so that they can carry a conversation over the course of a week, just in case someone missed the previous episodes. It's like repeating scenes just for the sake of catching people up, and it's not necessary.
Yeah. All right. Well, with episode 3, we were spared Guy Ladrieu and the Stupids.
Yes.
Episode 3 was the best episode.
But yeah, that's like saying you're the smartest kid on the show.
They just introduced new stupid
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's the new stupid shit.
It makes so much not make sense. Like in season 1, we established that it took 2 days or whatnot to get from Numenor to the Southlands.
God.
But in this one, her eyes have healed. We saw scars from Queen Muriel after the pyroclastic flow busted her face up.
Well, no. Remember, it was just sparks from a falling.
Oh yeah, it was the
beam
sparks from the
that
but-
blinded her.
That's right. But no, she
Blinded
had
her.
actual scar tissue. But it's
Yeah.
been long enough that the scar tissue is completely gone.
Yeah.
But Isildur's just been hanging out in faux Shelob's
Hold on
lair.
to that. Let's get that. So we start off
A
with
flashback or reuse scene.
with basically letting
This
the horse
100%
go.
scene was in season 1. So
It was? I
yeah.
forgot
Yeah, it
that.
was.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was
so
that
this is like
last episode.
7-10 minutes of reused footage.
Yeah.
So they let
Because
the horse
this is
go.
not a horse, this is Lassie. This is a dog.
Oh, yeah, so
I don't know.
This horse tracks it all. It's the dam. That's the dam.
Yeah.
So
The
tough.
horse is supposed to be akin to the fucking horse that from
From Two Towers
From Two
when
Towers.
Aragorn fell over the.
Brega.
That is a little bit different. I mean, he didn't go that far. There's
yeah.
a lot shorter distances
He
involved.
went
and yes,
downriver. He went a
there
little
are
downriver.
magical horses, so the horses have some sort of intelligence when they're connected to the men of Numenor. So there is a foundation.
Is
But
there?
yeah, Aragorn's horse going a mile downriver is a lot different than Bloodhound tracking
Yes.
through
Yeah.
Mordor.
And here's what I'll do. So some orcs are going to capture this horse here in this scene.
Then
Now,
it goes
I
full
will
John Wick
s-
on them.
I will say the orc practical makeup is better than last season.
Yes.
Oh, the orcs look
They're not all just
fantastic.
white.
Yeah, the orc practical makeup is better than last season. So
But
they're
besides
going to capture...
nuclear family orc. Nuclear family orc
we'll
looks
get to
terrible.
That. Yeah. We're coming. That's going to happen real soon. So they lace it. Now he's good. Like you said, he's got a good one. John Wicket. He's going to John Wicket. Now he breaks free. Now that rope is firmly around its neck.
Yes.
But in
It's
two
gone
scenes,
in the next scene.
it's still there in this scene right here. But then in a moment here, it's gone. It's completely gone in this scene.
We're dealing with
You
magic
need
horses.
You need opposable thumbs to get that off.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of.
No amount
Well,
of horse maneuvering is going to get it off.
Obviously, it's a human poop.
Okay, now the horse tracks it into the black forest from which nothing ever comes back. So here's a cave, and horse is going to go in there, and
Okay,
now because of
I
the
just have to
trailers,
say, this is one of my pet peeves about how horses are misrepresented on TV. Horses would never go anywhere near a cave because
No,
they can't
yeah.
see. Like, horses are skittish creatures, and the reason they're skittish is like when you get kicked by a horse, it's because it can't see you. You're in this blind spot, and it's just lashing out. It's not going to go anywhere near a cave where it can't see anything.
well,
but
like you
more
said,
so, it's
la-
not
it's
just any
lassie.
cave. It's a
Lassie.
spider pit with,
That's the thing.
with corpses.
Because of the trailer, and you see the webbing, you know it's bad. Now, of course, we all know
Yeah.
that I was very uncomfortable with this scene. I did
Yeah, of
not
course.
like it.
But there are certain things you cannot train a horse to do. You cannot train a horse to go near dead bodies because of the smell. And so there's no way the horse would actually go inside the cave under any circumstances. It's
Magical lassie horse. Magical lassie horse.
Magical lassie horse that found this place because it smelled a boot.
Yeah. I mean, horses are dumb, but they're not that dumb. I'm sorry. It's just, it was so distracting to me. I mean, it's easy to get distracted with the show because it's so dull, but oh, man.
So
this causes two questions for
me. I know one question. I forgot to add. I knew it in my review, but I forgot it because I got really swept up in wanting to get it done this morning. Because I tried to do. I had so much I wanted to try and do today, so I got through as fast as I could.
Listen.
And Jed, I know this is your number one question. It finds Isildur here. How did he get there?
He was buried by a burning building. Why would a spider go into a burning building and then carry him miles upon miles?
Seriously, this is a long way away. Where that town was is essentially a ton. It's an adventure journey away from this cave. And how are you telling me that no one was going to spot what I'm assuming is Mini Shelob dragging him
for
away
that long?
That long.
It doesn't make sense. Even if it was actually sized Shelob,
it's
not going to go that far out of her way to get prey. There's plenty around.
You have any idea how far the spider would have to drag the?
Yes. And also simply the fact that, by simple fact that also if it's supposed to be the cave that is eventually Shelob's cave and the actual Lord of the Rings, which it isn't because it's the middle of a fucking forest, but points later. You wouldn't. She's not going to leave her nest unguarded.
No.
With thousands of babies, I was
not
not
a lot of eggs, dude. That's a lot of.
Adam,
how did that happen?
Adam, I have a serious question. Okay, were you
serious?
wrapped in your security blanket when you were watching this scene?
No, but I was going like this. I was making faces. I didn't like it.
I was the exact opposite. I was like, spitter, spitter, spitter.
My other question though is, why are the spiders here to begin with? Because there's the humans in the Southlands been living here forever, dealing with this forest. No suggestion of this happening. Is it caused by Mordor? Are the spiders drawn there because of the Mordor change?
Well, Adam, Jed, spiders are there because Lord of the Rings.
Because Lord of the Rings. But is this somehow connected to the black slime thing that was affecting the animals, like the cow and Bronwyn's first episode?
I completely forgot about that shit.
Oh, yeah.
What was causing that? The implication it was Sauron's evil, but Sauron wasn't around.
Yeah.
So
I don't even remember what was causing that shit.
They didn't answer
they didn't say.
They
never actually explained what the cow goo is for. I don't know.
So so this orc was still alive, and they fight, and then Shelob comes down. It's got to be Shelob. It's them member burying for Shelob is what it is.
It's at least a member bury for horror, yeah.
And there's another point where he actually yells at the horse to save itself and leaves. Like, no, as soon as that small spider drops on the horse's back, that horse is gone. That horse is bolting. It's like
absolutely.
It frustrates me. I'm sorry.
There was some good spider CGI in this.
Listen, the fight is not. The CGI is not bad.
Yeah, the CGI is actually quite good.
We're not complaining about it. We're complaining about the whole concept of this situation.
Yeah, it's a special effect with a stupid story that doesn't make any sense, and so it's
also
pointless.
Perhaps the most poignant thing of all of this, there is zero tension.
Yes, because you know Isildur survives.
We know exactly how his story ends.
Yeah. I
am not afraid for his life at all in this.
No.
This is a pointless adventure for Isildur.
Yes,
just had him go home.
Hey, it's not entirely pointless. He did find he finds something interesting.
He finds a potential cock holster. I don't know what.
Yeah, potential cock holster.
I don't know. And so they're going to get out of there. They run away and fight a little bit of fight with Shelob, and Shelob gives up pretty quick. Once they're out of the cave. Oh, I hate it.
Well, because the whole thing was
heebie-jeebies looking at this, man. This gives you the heebie-jeebies.
Well, the whole reason why the spider has to flee is because the sun, beings of darkness can't be in sun. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, she backs off when she's out there.
And I don't know if that's a part of Shelob's lore, being afraid of the sun.
Okay, so we're back in Numenor, the funeral of the dead king. Oh, hello, sweetheart. Hello, sweetheart.
I thought she was in a part of it.
No, that's Bronwyn. She gone.
I got them mixed up, but I'm happy this.
Well, there were
here.
rumors she was gone, but we quickly proved those
when
wrong.
she showed up in the trailer. Yeah, we figured she was still coming back.
Now we never see her. We only see her from the neck up. They never give a real shot, and when they do later on, she's wearing a grandma dress. Last season, they showed in a flashback too, in her own flashback. Man, the dress she was wearing, her boobies were all out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember during one particular show, I forget if it was this or another one, where
she had an interview
with the guy with the cylinder, and she is leaning forward, and the twins are completely out to play, and you can see the dude playing the cylinder fighting the ultimate battle not to turn his head and look, because she's leaning forward, she's laughing, they're right there, and he's going, yeah, I can't look. I know they're there, and I can't look. It's gonna be bad. So they completely covered up her. The only reason she's in this show.
The only two good things about this show.
I know. So now she gives this questionnaire. This is where suddenly I question her character. Now, all jokes about her fantastic tits aside. Last season, she was a moderate. Who didn't like any talk of make Numenor great again. And man, they lay it on thick in this episode. He's wearing red and everything. Now suddenly, in just the span of a couple of weeks, because by their timeline of how the show works, it's only been a couple of weeks since they went to fight in Mordor and come back, at best. She has gone full hardcore make Numenor great again. And I'll
last time we saw her, she was doing a sketch of the king while he was asleep in his bed. The king, she watched the king die. He said,
was she corrupted by the Palantir?
I don't know.
And then she discovered the Palantir, and so now she's flipped. Apparently,
and now, just because Joshua brought it up earlier, let's just let's respect it.
Oh, honey,
let's respect it. Just respect it. Understand it. Love it, live it.
I hate your hairdo there, but
I'm not looking at her hair. Of course, I'm not looking at her hair. Anyway, all right. So, let me bring it back up. Sorry.
Oh, I thought we were bringing up boobs again.
No. We got to keep going here. We're making great time though. We still might be able to do other streams tonight at this rate.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's not even the same character, basically.
She's not the same character. And so she's criticizing her father about feeling bad for a king, but won't even talk about his own missing son.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there's parts about that is logical, like,
and
you're not talking about your son.
No, but the way she says it is ridiculous, though.
Yeah,
right there. Let's just get a shot of it. Oh, God damn it! The video. God damn it! Get it right. The video. We'll get a second of it just to bask in it for a second there. Look at there they are. There they are. They didn't hide them at all last time. Glorious. Anyway, so she's completely different character, and here comes Blind Queen with Pharazôn.
I have to be honest. When the daughter, sister, whatever comes in, I did not realize that was her because her character changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She also got a tan, so.
So Moob armor.
They tried to cover it up, though.
They don't cover it up later. They even add other guys in Moob armor, different types of Moob armor. There's 2 different types of Moob armor in Numenor now.
Yeah.
During the coronation scene when the soldiers are fending off in their bronze looking plates, that's Moob armor too.
Nice.
Real quick, Alaric Harrison for $4.99. If it comes up, there we go. This shit is so bad that it's literally unrecognizable as Tolkien. I was either laughing or cussing the entire time. Tolkien must be rolling in his grave. He's the energy source we need right now.
Yeah, he would solve the world's power crisis.
Yeah.
All of Rune's scenes, they didn't feel like Tolkien. They felt like Conan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thank you, Alaric, for the $4.99. So now they try to Game of Thrones it a little bit here. They try to Game of Thrones it. What's going on? Tell me, Elendil, what's going on? Pharazôn's politicking, essentially. He's politicking.
It's just politicking for the most part this episode. I was bored.
It's politicking.
Although Pharazôn's the good guy.
He just wants to make Numenor great. Now, I screwed up in my review. I got so caught up that I forgot to mention this scene where chick slaps her.
Oh, before we get to that, can we talk about the politicking just
Go
real
ahead.
quick?
Fine. That's
So,
fine, yeah.
so she left Farazan in the control of Numenor, correct? He was like the regent or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think he was default in charge. He wasn't like
it's the steward though.
I mean, he's
He
a
was-
regent. She's a regent, so he was kind of
he's the
caretaker.
steward. Yeah. So why would she even ask? Does that other guy have his ear or the other way around? Like you're going to assume the guy in power for the last 2 weeks, more accurately should be 6 months, is the guy in power.
Yeah, that would make so much more sense if they had been gone 6 months.
Yeah.
And they come back to Farazan having consolidated his strength. That would make so much more sense. But it's been 2 weeks at best.
Hey, I gotta be honest. Farazan's pretty fucking smart.
He plays it perfectly.
Dude.
Farazan did nothing wrong. Farazan did nothing wrong.
He might look like Karl Marx, but
idiot.
he's
Farazan Marx. And now chick slaps her, and
should have
then-
immediately been killed.
Then like true women. Oh, let's just hug it out. Let's just hug it out.
Yeah, a
This just
peasant
makes her
slaps
look
a-
weak.
A peasant
Yeah.
slaps the queen in a courtroom scene, and she just hugs it out.
How she thinks she's hiding the fact she's blind.
But they all know she's blind. I mean,
Everybody knows it, but she thinks she's being so clever.
She's that dumb.
Yeah.
Nero is one of the dumbest characters.
Hail Horny Alf, who will be joining us next week as our lore guy.
Hail.
Alf will be here to rage.
Guess what? 4 episodes.
He'll rage it. He's gonna rage with
We
us.
at least get in between time.
Yeah. So now I screwed this up. I got so caught up on my review, I swapped the bar scene with this scene. I went to that first, but I actually had in my review. I said, F it. I am not re-recording this. Okay. I mixed it up. We're powering through because I didn't want to re-record it. I just couldn't do it. Had to get through it. So now she's collecting the effects. This is the key, apparently, to the secret room with the Palantir and the swords and shit like that.
How did Boobs McGee get in there last time?
I think they left it open.
The
I
king.
don't know.
I don't know. The king is in the king's chamber. I don't know.
All right, so now here's the thing. He's now going to talk about, and this is where it gets political, and I didn't lean on this so heavily in my review. I wanted to save it for this show, but he breaks out. You can either go white for the past or red for the future. Don't you want to make Numenor great again red?
Yeah.
It was very subtle, yes.
Very subtle.
Yeah.
No, you do it the other way around, though. In logic, in most situations in medieval times, red represents blood, right? So there's been a blood-soaked past recently, and white is a chance to be free of the bloodshed.
Yeah. I've
yeah.
never heard of white being for the past. It's always for like purity and moving forward. Why?
Yeah.
Why past?
Yeah. Oh, Alf, man, don't worry about it, man. You're on vacation. Don't worry about it, man. We'll get you next week. You're not on duty.
Yeah.
Just sit back and relax and enjoy us suffering. You get
enjoy your family.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. We're just happy you're here. You can see what we're going through at this point. Because we're almost done. We're actually almost done.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah, this episode's not going to take very long. It's not going to take very long.
Episode 3 was just really politicking.
Well, this scene, I actually was giving Farazan too much credit. I thought the whole thing with these dresses that he was doing in here was because she was still pretending to be blind and he was going to test her.
So did I.
And
I thought it was
say like,
yeah.
"Oh, you want the white? Here's the white," and he'd hand her the red.
I thought that was what was going to happen, but they didn't do that.
I expected that too. I'm
there with you.
But,
so
we gave him too much credit.
This just veiled shots saying he's Trump. That's all this is.
Yeah.
It's veiled shots.
It's super creepy.
Yeah.
He straight up stroked your face.
Yeah.
The other thing is that they also mentioned, I remember white at my father's coronation, and I remember an eagle.
And the eagle, one of the lamest goddamn setups, because you know why? Also because it's going to come, but also we saw it in the goddamn trailer.
Yeah.
Man, if an eagle showed up, wouldn't that be a great omen? Wow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a fantastic omen?
So now they're going to go to the ale house, and they're basically talking treason.
Yeah.
They're talking treason, and as we said, Big Tits Sister McGee is completely unrecognizable, both because we can't see her tits and also her character is completely different. Suddenly, she's all about treason. And she's the one that says, I know a way to tip the balance in your favor because she stole the Palantir, apparently. Now, we learn later.
Well, talking treason in a public bar like this is an actual strategy that people high up do. But the problem, the big mistake that they make in doing it, they even mentioned we want to be away from the palace and whatnot to discuss this, is they don't disguise themselves. This only works if they go someplace where they're not expected to be and they look like peasants, and then they can talk about treason.
Yeah. So Isildur's buddy, who hated him last season but became friends again at the end, picks a fight with Farazan's kid, Farazan Jr. And
I completely forgot about these two guys, both of them.
Well, they're nothing. They're empty. It's pathetic. But it's this show of I'm loyal to the queen and will kill anybody that does it. It's just bad Game of Thrones is what it is.
Yeah.
It's really bad Game of Thrones. And it does a disservice to all the whatever pathetic character work we got last season for Big Tit Sister McGee. She's done, and this guy was nothing last season. Suddenly he's maybe something, but still does nothing. And we get more of dude with his Jufro.
Well, and it's totally okay for a common soldier to threaten the steward's son in front of the steward.
Yeah.
Apparently.
You even say you're a commoner. You're a common soldier. But I guess they don't want to be embarrassed, I guess.
Oh, well, Farazan's grinning through it. He's getting some weird satisfaction out of it.
And basically now she sets it up. It's all set up for the fact that they're going to get them there because now she discovers the Palantir is gone. Now she's going to struggle to get in there. We could skip past this. Just apologize when I do that. Okay.
Oh, we have to do this one. We have
been waiting for this. And this is where I actually have a discussion topic for this now.
Uh-oh.
So this is the scene where Adar, where good dad Orc is telling Adar ready for war, but then says, do we really need to go to war? We have a home.
It's so beta.
And then after Adar says, let me finish it and then we can get into it and ask you my question. Then Adar says, don't worry. The plans of a father are not for a son to know, essentially.
Well, it's like sometimes
you have to fight
son
Sauron.
needs to trust the father.
So then he hears his baby cry, and that's Orc female and Orc baby. And we have the Orc nuclear family. All right, so I took a break from X Twitter for the past couple of days. One, so that I didn't catch stray spoilers until I'd done my reviews. But also, I was doing other shit and having a good time. I didn't need their shit. So I came back today after I was done and I was scouting. And apparently, while those of us with working brains are criticizing how stupid this is, believe it or not, there are still Rings of Power stands out there. I know.
Wait,
I know. There are still stands out there. They are trying to make the case that the Silmarillion says that the orcs always wanted this and had families. And I saw a line being paraded about saying where the orcs detested their master and served out of fear. First of all, if it's the Silmarillion, it's probably talking about Morgoth, not Sauron.
Yeah.
And we've had plenty of instances in other adaptations of Lord of the Rings explaining us that orcs are corrupted beyond redemption. There is nothing. And I said this in my review today, even though it's completely lore inaccurate, the Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War games are, aside from being fun games, they do give you an interesting, probably pretty close look at what life is like for orcs in Mordor. It's kill or be killed, the strongest rule. None of this shit.
I'm pretty sure orcs can't have children.
So yes, they apparently, from what I understand, they do have children, but they don't have families. It's very much a sea turtle type thing where as soon as you're out, you're on your own, go through the tortures, the hellfire to survive type situation. It's a lot of people have been saying that they're bred, but they're referencing Sauron doing it like artificially with the Uruk-hai, which are different.
Uruk-hai, that's different.
People are using that to say. So I from what I understand, the orcs do make babies like humans do, but they don't have families like humans do.
They're popped out quickly and they grow extremely fast. which is why they can populate so quickly and have such.
Yeah,
a horde.
they do grow very very. fast.
Other orc and other in other fantasy situations, like in Warhammer, orcs they're born from spores, and they latch onto shit and grow. That's how they create so many so fast. There's no orc families.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And Al, that's why I said they're not the least big canon, but besides being fun as hell, they are fun as hell.
They're fun, but they are really bad with canon.
Oh, they butcher the canon. They butcher it.
Especially Shelob.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I ain't going for sexy Shelob. It ain't happening. But
you want sexy
in that case, I will make the case that the way the orcs war amongst themselves for control and power, that's a good representation of what it's
Orc
like.
society was interesting, at least.
Like in the Lord of the Rings books, there's several different factions of orcs. Like they don't get along. They're clearly a warring clan, tribal warfare type society. Like they were created as foot soldiers. So this orc is asking Adar whether or not they still have to go to war. It's like a foot soldier asking the general whether they still have to fight. It's like,
obviously, yeah.
It's like the hierarchy. It makes no sense. It's
a son asking a father, Joxer. It's a son talking to his father.
The weird relationship they're adding.
Adar literally probably fucked somebody and made this guy pop out.
He just has an orc fetish, and that's what this is all about.
Now, how is Adar making more orcs? Because all I see there are women there, but either way, there is no Adar either. Let's remember that.
Yeah,
Adar doesn't exist. There's no father of the orcs.
Well, and Son of Jox, you pointed out something really important. The reason why orcs weren't a super dangerous threat to Middle Earth through the beginning of the Third Age and whatnot is because they were keeping each other in check. They were warring with each other so much that they couldn't, mobilize enough to be a threat to any big settlement or whatnot. Yeah. But once you have an evil force controlling them, manipulating them, congregating them, Sorry, Jeff. Sorry.
That was it.
That was the whole point of when they show the tower where Sauron, the Eye of Sauron, is at. And Saruman talks about how he's gathering all evil to him, like he's.
Mm-hmm. But he's classic orc mentality.
Yeah.
War boss. We follow a war boss, and we fight until the war boss either wins or dies, and then we scatter. Orcs are weak-minded creatures. They need a strong, powerful figure to follow.
Yeah.
And otherwise they are cowardly if they don't have something to fight. They break easily. When they have a mighty war boss, to use Warhammer terms, when the WOG is in full effect, they'll march forever.
That's what made the speech in the first scene from the first episode so stupid. Is like, of course the orcs aren't going to follow Sauron in his elf form. It's like,
yeah, he's fair.
Yeah, so he would show up to them in his armored form to intimidate, be war boss.
Well, here's how it's a mistake. Remember in episode 1 of season 1 when they showed that exact scene, he was already crowned.
Yeah,
and he stood powerful in his armored scene. They already retconned their own bullshit this season.
I'm sure they're going to say something like that was the elves' interpretation of what, like Galadriel thought that's how it happened.
Bullshit. So So the stands are trying to say that they're all re-quoting this shit, saying somebody didn't read the Silmarillion. Motherfucker, I've admitted I didn't read the Silmarillion, but I know and understand this shit more than you do. All right,
100%. I actually did not know that orcs couldn't conceive children. Like I can eat that one, but it's just so weird to see nuclear family orcs.
Yeah,
in a world where I've never really seen them have kids.
Muslim Revert, to answer your question, we covered that at the beginning of the stream. In a nutshell, he allowed himself to be captured so he can begin manipulation games.
It doesn't make it's all awful writing.
Yeah,
but it's,
and then he went back to Region.
Yeah, so he can make more rings. So, orc family. This scene's gonna end pretty quickly as the troll that they teased in the marketing campaign shows up. This troll, the eater of frost, the slayer of frost giants, the eater of dragon bones. And it shows up, says F you to your thing, where's Sauron? And then this is it for Adar and the orcs this episode. That's all we get.
Thank God.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that particular troll is just going to be like a teammate of Sauron? Like he's only
I don't know. I don't know. They tried saying that it's some sort of player in all this.
Okay, the reason I think they introduced it, because we'll talk about when we get to the last scene with Theo. But I thought that Theo was getting snatched up by that orc at the end. I was misdirected.
No. This is I don't know where I saw this on Prime. It's Trent's.
Yeah.
Oh no, no. We're getting.
We'll get there, but I thought it was I thought introducing New York here was a misdirect, but maybe I'm reading too much into it.
Yeah.
You might be.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get to the Ent-wise. No, so we're in Region, and now here is the reception of the invitation. And basically, essentially, we're here to see the forge, the new forge. But it's also so Durin can tell Anatar Sauron, stop telling me what my boyfriend said. You know, my boyfriend wouldn't say that shit. Shut up.
Yeah.
That's essentially it. And so Diza can be a hungry Sith Lord some more. Oh, I like the idea of rings. Durin says no, but I like the idea of rings. And so we can have her go out and bully him some more right here.
This is the villain. This is a fucking villain in all this. She's right about that. The son and father should probably make up, but she's doing it for soul power.
So they can make the rings. So they can save the mountain.
I think she's going to get the ring from Durin the Third. Because he loses it in the trailer. I think she's going to be the one to pick it up and wear it.
Funny as fuck, dude. So she's going to bully him to do it. That's all it is. Just Diza's going to bully him. Now here comes more thirst trap. Where
I'll say this was at least clever because
it's the manipulation. But
it's the manipulation, but they're both doing manipulation in a different way.
I didn't mention this in the last segment we were talking about this too, but I'll say it now. I forgot because we caught up on other shit. This whole situation with now Anatar being present, and now that Sauron is Anatar and interact with Celebrimbor, with what they did at the end of last episode, cringe your Lord of the Rings shit out, take that out. That whole situation, this situation now in this episode, how he's portrayed this once again proves they knew exactly what they could have done to do this right. This could have been season 1. They could have just said Anatar and the corruption of Celebrimbor. How hard would that have been? It would have been easy. Would have been a layup. We have nothing to complain about then. But no, they created him as Halbrand purely to be a shipping thirst trap. That's it. That's the only reason. And they do this, and they show him. I mean, these scenes are actually not bad right here in the forging of the Dwarven rings. Those are actually good scenes. I can give compliments and be objective when I need to. Showing him manipulating Celebrimbor is actually good. But it should have been done right and not out of order like it is in this bullshit. So he's going to manipulate him into lying to Gil-galad and saying everything's fine. We're not going to make more rings. Because he says, Gil-galad say don't make any more rings. And of course, Celebrimbor, who is now in his prime, he's actually the master smith he always wanted to be. Of course, now he's not going to stop.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's worse, though, is he says he's going to go to Linden. He says, I'm going to tell Gil-galad I'll be at Linden soon since I'm shutting down the forge.
Yeah.
Well, Gil-galad's going to get suspicious in the one day it takes for fast travel to work in this world when Celebrimbor hasn't shown up, and then he's going to investigate. He should have had some reason for him to stay. I'm totally on board with him lying to Gil-galad, but he can't say, I'll be there soon and have no plans on going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's completely, it's just, it doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense for his actions. Make it make sense for where they want this to go. And why they
tell you, I can explain it to you, okay?
Yeah.
His plans are very simple. He has some baby oil and he's just waiting for alone time.
Oh, God damn it. Why you got to bring it back to that? Well, this is. I mean, there's, like we said, the latent homosexuality is all over this. He's stalking him. He's standing behind him.
I will also say that there is a good back and forth here, and I always want to say L wrong. Whatever the fuck his name is. Why so many names? Celebrimbor. Celebrimbor did do something smart where fucking Halbrand, Sauron, fuck hard. I don't give a shit. Was gonna fuck up. He was trying to pressure the dwarves into just siding with them now, where Celebrimbor knew, no, you need to be patient with these guys. You need to, slow down, water, crack, stone, whatever. That's actually a smart move there.
Yeah, he's the better manipulator than Sauron.
Yeah. So we're back in Mordor, and basically Isildur's fast traveling. He's gonna find a weapon. He won't drink the tainted water. He gets a sword.
This is the Dead Marshes.
Yes,
it's a Dead Marshes. That's what it is.
Is this?
Yeah.
Is that?
No,
really
it's not actually what it is.
Oh,
but I'm saying
okay.
that's what they're doing. Is they're like,
Okay.
remember the Dead
yeah.
Marshes?
Oh, 100%. I remember that.
All right, so Isildur is gonna get caught off guard by a tiny little woman and get a knife in the thigh. Now, here's the problem.
Now he should be dead.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty nasty stab wound. That thing should, considering where they are, that should get infected.
Well,
that thing.
Well, I like the scene in the next part where they're both riding a horse and he still has a stab wound in his thigh.
Yeah,
like that's not
he's
gonna.
he's perfectly fine. Considering also with the map that she happens to have, they had to go over the mountains to get there. So they traveled through the mountains, and that wound is still. He doesn't have a fever. He's fine.
Well, beyond that, there is such a thing as an artery that's right there in the thigh.
Yeah.
He's squirting out dead in minutes.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah,
that was a deep cut. That was a deep stab. Right in the thigh. He's dead.
So they fast traveled. He should be dead, but he's not because Isildur can't die. Plot armor, and they get an ambush. And
this was the most.
It's also that we can have CGI black Legolas. It's even funnier sped up. It really is. Also, you can do this shit. He just also can do that fucking thing. The arrow. Nope. This isn't how you fucking hold a bow and arrow.
But the ambush was so fucking predictable.
Oh yeah.
Orcs raided us, but didn't kill us all.
Yeah, because I believe that. Where are the orc corpses?
It's just stupid. It's also we can get Black Legolas back in the show.
Well, my question is the oath that Adar makes the humans do magically binding? Because it seems like anyone who gives the oath and gets branded is actually evil after that.
Not the girl. She doesn't want to be branded. She's going to make it go away.
So these people are just evil?
Yeah.
They're just bad.
Oh,
they don't just hate knife ears. They hate knife ears.
All right. So now they get reintroduced, and this is to me the greatest thing. Why are you here? Why you said, oh, because my baby mama's dead.
Just so casual.
I laughed so god. We all remember baby mama Bronwyn with her tits out last season. We remember baby mama Bronwyn. They worked so hard last season to make her the greatest women's leader of all time, just after Galadriel, Warrior Princess. They worked so hard, but in reality, the actress left to be a political activist.
Yes.
I can't say if she traded up or not.
It's. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to say something really bad. I'm not going to do it. Don't want to go down that political route. We're not here to do that. Point is, she left to be political activist. So I'm sure originally they had all storylines planned for her. So instead of just recasting,
like they did with Adar,
they just killed her off.
Are they going to give most of her stuff to that new chick who's the Isildur's
I don't
girlfriend?
know. Well, maybe not. All I know is that what they do now after the whole pyre thing here, and Isildur gets stitched. Oh no, we have to go through. I'm sorry, I have to go through the scene here. Well, all right. So we'll get back to that. So they go through a pyre thing here, and we'll talk about it now. And we'll skip over it when we get there. When Isildur gets stitched up by Theo without his badass teenage mustache, Theo and Arondir have a conversation about going forward now, how to cope with the death of Bronwyn and what they should rely on each other. And Theo actually says, "Did you know my father? No, neither did I, but I know he's not you." Now, last season we were postulating that his hair hanging over his ears was hiding elf ears, that he's a half-breed. And maybe now that she left the show and she's dead and they can't have her be a part of a dramatic story arc where Theo has to come to terms with being Arondir's son, a half-breed. Maybe now they just decided to just shovel off that whole story arc. Does he think that's possible?
No, I think they're still because they're still trying to do this whole pseudo adopted son, adopted father thing, and I'm like, they're just gonna reveal that he's his son.
But without her, it makes it even weaker. Without her to be there as part of the
Oh,
story.
it's a bad idea.
They 100% changed their minds though. They had to refocus without important character in the show. I mean, you're gonna have to change your plans.
Oh man, she was supposed to be the leader.
Yeah, I think it might be a red herring saying that he's not Teenage Mustache's dad. I think it's just a distraction to eventually reveal it.
Okay.
Like, just say, hey, totally not true, to make it a big reveal.
Yeah. So I just wanted your thoughts on that. All right, so we can skip that scene when we get there. So now we're back in Khazad-dûm, and it's time for father and son to reunite. I'm wrong, you're wrong, but Dad, don't give them.
I'm just as hard as you are.
Oh, God damn it!
That was a literal line. That was a literal line.
I know, but my point is though, it's also it says, Dad, don't give the mithril to elves. Let elves do their own elven thing, like you always told me. Let's not do this. But he's not going to listen.
Yeah, so like they've done this several times over the course of the series where they end the conversation by not. It's like the father doesn't actually give him a response. They just cut to what the response is, and it's like, well, during the third doesn't actually give any reasoning. Doesn't actually give any, like, doesn't explain to his son why it like. They don't even try to put forth arguments to defend this.
He just nods and tilts his head. And that's it, because we'll come back to them in the final scene.
Again, to me, it just gets back to they have no character motivations. They don't even... The reason to me the show is so boring is because I can't root for any characters in the show because I don't understand what they're trying to achieve or why they want to achieve it. They're just it's rudimentary storytelling. You have to understand what the characters' motivations are, or you're not going to care.
Yeah, because these aren't the characters. Either the made-up ones are the ones we want, and the actual characters are bastardized.
Yes.
So there's no connection, none at all. So here we are. What, you say something?
Everything sucks.
Oh yeah, I agree.
like this scene, for example.
Including Celebrimbor. This
how do we get here? Talk about aqueducts while fucking.
I want my horse.
Talk about aqueducts. Boys pissing in a fucking a bucket. That's kind of how it comes off.
Over on Dermy's channel, 5 gifted memberships. By Dom H.
Hey, Thank 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours. I'll take a shot for him.
All right. Yeah. See, for me, if you pretended to live in actually my time, you could drink in half an hour.
No, why would I ever live in the lesser Eastern time? I'm
the present
time supremacy.
In the present.
Central time supremacy. You're in the future.
Jed, don't we live in the present?
Well, everyone lives in the present.
Shut up.
We just interpret it differently.
You're supposed to be on my side. Fuck you. Moving on.
Hey, I miss mountain time. I lived most of my life on mountain time. I'm all for that one. Actually, I'm all for Arizona because we didn't have daylight savings too.
One day we'll get rid of it. We'll get rid of it one day. It'll happen.
No, we won't.
So we now, like you said, this conversation is completely irrelevant because all it is I'm a Isildur and I want my horse. We'll learn to cope together once we help me get my horse. Is there anything else to it? Besides trying to tell Theo without his badass teenage mustache, you can aspire to be better things because in Numenor we have great things.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
It boils down to meet me here at night. We'll go get horse.
Well, do we want to talk about that now or when they actually meet to go get horse?
Well, that's the next. I think we're going there next. Yeah, we're here. We're here right now. Where he sits down with Chick, who's trying to hide her brand, which I totally started to talk about in my review, but then forgot to go back to it.
Where Isildur admits that his mom died by drowning by trying to save his life, and he never told anybody.
But he just said the shit says he drowned. I don't understand why that's such a bad story to tell everybody.
Well, and how did he get back to shore? If he was,
that's a good question.
If he was dying out there, did he just like see her come out, see her drown? He's like, oh, I better go back to shore.
Did she manage to get him pushed far enough down, and then she gets sucked out? into the ocean.
That story doesn't make sense.
It's maybe he's missing a part of it because he was a child. I don't know, but it's retarded. It is retarded.
Yeah, it's retarded.
Doesn't make sense.
But
so basically now, new ethnically ambiguous girl because she's
who has
ambiguous.
some beautiful lips, by the way.
Oh, okay.
They're perfect.
I actually kind of like the scene, like in isolation. These two people sort of commiserating over survivor's guilt, and the gal actually gives them a good answer. Like, you can't blame yourself for this kind of stuff. It's like not,
but it's still empty.
If it was in a different show, it would make sense.
Yeah,
But because
she
for
comes
this
out
show,
and
it's
says it
completely
though.
stupid.
She comes out and says it. It's like, I feel guilty that I have survived.
Right.
It's so on the nose.
And it's,
yeah, you're right.
And it's also we can see Theo without his badass teenage mustache crying while listening to them.
Well, a lot of but this is a good example of like scenes. Some of these scenes, if you rework them, they could work. Like a lot of these scenes, rework these scenes, you could have good scenes. This scene here, it could work. Let's not have Isildur. Yeah, not with Isildur.
Yeah.
And also, don't have Isildur say that he basically covered up how his mom died.
What if this had been Arendir talking about how Bronwyn died?
We could actually get some character for Arendir for the first time.
He's had none. He's had no character work in 2 seasons now so far. So they're going to talk, and basically then Theo shows up, and hey, let's go get the horse. So they're going to go get the horse, and
so
Theo
I have a problem with this. Oh, go ahead.
All right,
I have a serious problem.
Oh, this whole scene is terrible but I'll tell you why I think it's terrible at the very end. So, Dermy, go ahead.
My biggest complaint with this fucking scene is one of the fucking forest people freaks is cutting down a tree, but he's doing it all fucking wrong. Yes, all he's doing is hitting an axe against a tree. He's not doing it correctly. It's boom, boom, and all you see is and I'm like, no, you're not doing it right. You're just hurting your axe. You're not making any movement. You're not doing anything correctly. You're not going to cut down the fucking tree. I'm so fucking annoyed with that small little thing. You look retarded.
It did look pretty dumb.
While Dermy's losing it, Jed, what do you got on this one?
Okay, so this is another problem with the time of the show. Sometimes it's like there's been 6 months since the eruption of Mount Doom. Other times it's like there's been 10 hours. And Theo's somehow gotten to the city, right? And memorized the land enough to be a good navigator and know where the evil branded people, who are only just getting branded, as we see in the show, where they're all hiding out. There's no concept of time. It's always contradicting itself. Like, if he had lived here for a while, all right, I could believe that he's familiar enough with the landscape. But is Arendir just not babysitting him like he should? He's letting him wander around in the dangerous forest?
Arendir's out killing people. He's out killing people. That's what he's doing.
Pointless.
My beef with this is, let's get, long story short, distraction, get horse. Theo is in trouble, and he gets rescued. And when he gets rescued, and we know from the trailers it was coming, and it's obvious here, he's going to get rescued by the Entwives.
Mm-hmm.
The Entwives, whom Tolkien never delved into.
On purpose.
There is not a single line of anything outside the fact that they exist and they disappeared. There's nothing. Uh-oh. Lost Dermy.
He reached his limit.
He didn't say anything. Maybe he's decided to drink early. I don't know. He'll probably be back. We're at the end here. He's got to be here for Make Mordor Great Again. I'm sorry, make Numenor Great Again. Anyway, so Entwives. This shouldn't be. These people should not be going near the Entwives. That is a complete desecration to Tolkien. Because he as Jed just said, specifically said nothing about them. So to inject them in here, that is a massive insult to all of it. And that pisses me off the most here.
Oh yeah. It's ridiculous that they're being included, but I don't know Ent lore very much. Obviously, we know that they're in Fangorn Forest, but are they in all forests? Or is this the problem of geography again, where they're like,
all we know is that the Ents lost the Entwise. We don't know where they are.
Right, but no, we know actual Ents are in Fangorn. That's the only forest from actual lore that we know that they exist.
They're like stewards of the forest, so I think there's like a few Ents in every large forest that like are guardians of the forest, but they never really explain like the Entmoot is the first time they ever actually get together in one place.
Yeah. He's drinking in an hour and a half, Dom. He starts drinking in an hour and a half. He won't live in the present with me. All right, so now we're at the glorious Make Numenor Great Again. The coronation. It all goes down. She's getting coronated, and somebody goes, "Queen of Lies" from the gallery. And I once again, I was so amped up in messing around in my review, I forgot that big tit sister McGee comes out first with the Palantir and does her speech about she's corrupted by elven magic and elven this, elven that, because suddenly she hates immigrants. She hates immigrants. Link won't work. New link. All right, hang on. What do you guys think?
It to him.
I got it. Great. All right, Jeremy, Jet sent it to you. Why would the link not work? That's weird.
I don't know. It's Jeremy.
Jeremy,
he gave it AIDS.
Don't be a fuck up, Jeremy. So she gives her "Make Numenor Great Again" hates immigrants speech, and they took her jobs, and then everybody starts going for Pharazôn. They want it. She drops it. There's a riot. Elendil tries to grab it. It zaps him. And then they're all fighting. And I told you there's a bunch of other soldiers that have moob armor. But then they hear a cry.
Before the eagle. So Elendil goes to pick up the Palantir on the ground, right? And gets blown across the room, which we've never seen a Palantir being able to do that.
No,
but
usually it magnetizes you, as we've seen.
And that's more mental than actual exerting anything on reality. But in that sequence, the crowd starts to become like a mob, and they're pushing towards the queen, right? And the soldiers are holding back the mob.
Yeah.
Elendil goes up to the line of soldiers, reaches through them from the mob side, and says, "Grab my hand, queen."
I know.
If she does that, she's in danger of the mob. Yeah. He is literally putting her in the most danger possible.
And as you say that, I glossed over that because I was caught up in my ranting. Grab my hand. She can't see it.
Yeah.
She can't see the hand.
No.
I just realized that I was talking about it. She can't see the hand. She can't see it.
So Elendil is not present. He's physically there in a few scenes.
Still isn't.
He doesn't do anything.
He didn't do anything last season, and he doesn't do anything now. Okay?
She should replace him with a walking stick. As long as
I know. Jeremy, did you get the link? God damn it! We want you here for this part. All right.
The Eagles are coming.
The Eagles. There he is. Okay, there he is. How did the link not work?
I have no freaking idea what the hell happened there. All I was doing was raising up my monitor a little bit. Next thing I know, like everything went to like all the internet just disconnected. Jed was in the middle of the discussion. I'm like, what the hell? Is everybody else freaking out right now? Was it just me?
Jeremy, did you get anything in the mail today?
Oh, no, I know what you're saying.
Did you get anything in the mail today? I mean, something arrived maybe.
No,
that might be nearby. You know,
little yellow
yellow thing with the amalgamation of two characters. See, now he's worried.
Just your little yellow friend.
Because we all keep threatening to send him one, so he knows one day it's gonna happen. Anyway, so Dermy, make Numenor great again.
Make Numenor great again. I'm all on board. And the dude, I actually have this is some clever writing. Okay. Because I'm going to bet you money that eagle came down to
wrong button.
That was great timing.
That's a wrong button. It was the wrong button. I keep hitting spacebar and I forget to switch the screen. I wanted to show you.
Beautiful timing, though.
This eagle came down to honor what's your bucket, the failure of a human blind person to honor her coordination. But he's smart and clever enough to say, no, it's here to honor me. It's here to praise me. Because you can watch as the eagle's freaking out as he's getting close to it. It's like,
Yeah.
come
But
on.
then it's
He's
fine.
doing some arguing.
The Eagle's the only one allowed to vote in Numenor.
I guess so. So
That's democracy.
Farazan draped in his make Numenor again red. His red, I mean, god damn it.
He's got a plant in the crowd to start chanting his name.
Yeah. His political allies start chanting, and now everybody's for him, and he just realizes, yeah, that's right. This is me, and it's my time, and I'm gonna be king. Yeah.
Make Numenor great again. I'm all on board.
Make Numenor great again, baby. They are so. It's just not like just it's not subtle at all. Not subtle at all. And you think the episode's over, but no.
It should be.
Now we get to make the dwarven rings. And I repeat, this could have been good. If this shows you they can make a good scene, and if this had been the actual story they've been telling since last season. And I found it is really good. He walks over, presents him with the mithril. He takes it, and before he can drop it in there, Sauron takes it from him so that he can corrupt it and start the actual corruption of the rings.
I was surprised they did some show don't tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't subtle. But...
Yeah. No words are uttered, but it's this is the only scene that works. And it proves to me they could have done this right. They could have, but they chose not to.
Yeah, they choose not to every single time.
And
that makes it so much worse.
And that's it. Episode done. We're finished. 3 hours, 6 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. We struggled last year because we didn't know what we were doing.
Shorter than the actual episodes put together.
Actually, right about. We're actually right about. We added our discussions. We're right on the nose of all three.
They're a little bit longer than that. It's a good 25 extra minutes.
Yeah.
3 hours and 25 minutes.
See, we can do the 2 times speed. Let's keep the speed up.
Maybe we'll see. Well, we might actually do that just to get through this shit. I think I'm going to allow this next week, 2 times speed, because it's not like we're listening to it. There we go. We have completed our discussion.
We survived.
1 through 3. We
And
survived.
we're all the worse for it.
But next week, Dermy's going to be drinking heavily during this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And this show's only going to get worse. I mean, literally, nothing happened in 3 episodes. Horrible dialogue, horrible writing, horrible acting. The presentation in some instances is a little better, but the fact that you still had the moob armor, the fact that you still have people looking like trash and they have no sense of time, passage, nothing, it is still got everything wrong with it. And it's
my understanding is that this second season was being produced and filmed prior to the first season being released, so it's just a continuation. The dumb things get dumber, the stupid things get stupider. They're just doubling down on all the mistakes that were made in the first season.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be more accurate to the books, guys.
Yeah. We're gonna get a 2-episode long battle, the Battle of Eregion, which is supposed to be a siege, not a battle that lasts.
And even the going back to the books, they're not going back to the books. They're just pilfering more scenes from Peter Jackson's movies. They're not
and they're butchering. They're butchering dialogue from those movies and reinterpreting it as their own. So this thing is doomed beyond relief. But you know what? I'm glad it's here. I'm glad to roast it. They're going to get a 3rd season.
Oh yes, if you go to IMDb, list seasons, you can point on the 3rd one is empty, but you can click on. There's a 3rd season you can click on.
They have already bookmarked for 3 seasons now. 4 to 5. Remember, it's supposed to be 5 seasons.
No.
I'll say it now, and I'll keep predicting it as we go on with the show for the next month and a half. I predict they're going to pull the plug after season 3. I think they will.
If the viewership numbers mean anything to them, they will have to cancel it because it's not like the drop off from from the first episode. Like was pretty severe. Like No
they
one
only
was gonna
retained
watch this.
30% in the end of first season. Now, whenever we get the Nielsen's on this week, they won't mean shit because it's the 3-episode drop and the numbers will be
It'll
skewed.
tainted. If
Yeah.
it doesn't
And I
show
don't-
up at all, though, that would be glorious. If 3 episodes
I don't think we get.
together,
Oh wait, no, yeah,
What?
we will
We-
get
we
Nielsen.
get Nielsen.
Never
We'll
mind,
get
I'm
Nielsen's.
retarded. I'm
Yeah,
retarded,
we'll
and they're
get
not
it.
going to
It'll be a
show up.
month.
They're not.
But-
Yeah, it's going to
It'll
be a
be a
month.
month.
I was being
Yeah,
retarded.
Yeah.
But
You-
I
you-
think you
Look,
might be
actually-
right, Adam, with 3 seasons, because if you watch the trailer at the end of episode 1 of the season, they show, or at least hinted strongly, that they're going to get the 9 human rings as well. So they're accelerating things. They're going to do all
That
the
actually
rings in
makes-
this, all the rings in this season, then the one ring in next season.
We're getting the Balrog this season too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they're just gonna, even though they start off these 3 episodes really slow, they're gonna barnstorm through the rest to get you.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Derek.
Take
Go ahead,
this
Derek.
with a grain of salt, because I don't know if it just didn't show up this week or what. Because August 25th. Oh,
What?
never mind. I'm wrong. I am tracking Samba TV, and I took a good long look at it. I was on the wrong week, so
Okay.
that's my bad. Don't
Yeah.
ignore me. I'm retarded.
Okay. Well, ignore you. Good. Well, all right. I got nothing else.
I
think
got
we
nothing
can.
else.
I got nothing else, which means I can go.
I got
stream Dragon-
Charity here in 4
and
minutes, so
I'm not showing up. I'm gonna play Dragon Age 2. I'm sorry. I'm gonna play Dragon Age 2.
that's fine.
So,
I still need to get some food and get some water before I start. So
yeah. So, all right. Thanks everybody for being here. Let's go around the horn. We'll say some farewells, and then I'm gonna release you to go have a relaxing remainder of your Saturdays. Jed, you're on the road. What you got up to this week?
Well, because I'm on the road, not a whole lot going on. A super secret trip with so many exciting things going on. Yes. But you can all find me on YouTube and Kick at Hollywood Scholar, and just regularly scheduled live streams back here next week on my channel for This is Mordor Country, episode 9, I believe is what we're on.
Yep.
And I'll actually be in my setup by then. I'll actually have a good setup, and Dr. Rachel will be joining us on that one as well.
Excellent. Dermy, you got Saturday in like what, 20 minutes?
less than 20 minutes, 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes.
So
All right.
go check me out. When my side ends, it should just throw you guys over there. I need to go get water and stuff before I start up over there. So
all right.
I love you guys. It was fun. I sort of look forward to next Saturday.
Yeah.
Look forward
All
to
right.
hanging out with you guys. Not looking forward to what we have to talk about. So
Yeah, you'll be drunk
See you
next
guys.
time though. We'll get hiccup.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Joxer, what do you got going on?
I would point people to my website, mrhook.net. There's a link at the top of the page there to my drive-through RPG page. I publish map supplements for D&D games. You can find it all there. I just have a message for all the stands out there who, say, well, why do you watch this stuff if you hate it so much? It's like, we have to call this stuff out. This show is not a translation. It's not an adaptation. It's a desecration. If we don't call them out, we're just going to get more of the same.
Yep.
If you don't call it out, it's never going to improve. So we're doing a public service.
And it's been proven. We don't actually make it better when we talk about it. That's the line. Oh,
yeah, we're not
because you
helping
talk
the show
about it
at all. Like,
helps it out. No, that's been disproven many times over this year with many.
the
shows.
Alkalite proved that through and through.
Yeah. So all right, great. Thank you, Josh, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. As for me, in about 20 minutes, because I got to get up and move around, I am going to stream some Dragon Age 2. Normally, I jump over to Saturday, but I want to play a video game, and the chat that joins you for that one over on my gaming channel, Renaissance Nerd Arcade. Link in the description below, down on my channel. They don't want me to stream that on Saturday. It's that simple. They want to just have that be the game. So I'm going over there. Some of you can watch me and Jeremy at the same time. That's perfectly fine. Tomorrow, we're supposed to do Roundtable. I'm kind of feeling iffy on it just because I kind of have nothing to talk about because we talked about this today. And it's either that and just Stenberg. So I'll let you guys know tomorrow.
Are you doing Mellow Monday on Memorial Day?
Probably, because
Okay.
it's at night. It's at night. So we'll probably do that.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll be doing Mel Motors be at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's normal because Samuel will have the day off, so he'll be there right on time. Devil will definitely have the day off. He'll be there. And the doors are always open, so who knows what's gonna happen. All right, other than that, come back here next Thursday for the next installment of my reviews of Rings of Power Season 2. Other than that, we have no idea what the week will hold, so stay tuned for that. And that's it. That's it. Thank you all for being here across all our channels. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you for supporting us. We cannot do this stuff without you guys. So we'll see you next week. Hit those like buttons, subscribe to the channels, and we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys.